What we do here is go back.
Okay, hopefully we are live. Not too sure. Maybe things are working, maybe you're not. Please let me know in the chat if you can see me and or hear me. And then we can get started. Let's have a quick scroll through. Rick H says my favourite Saturday hangout. Echo. There's an echo. Okay. Allow me to see what's going on. Ah, I think I know why that is. Echo from that one. Mute that source. There we go. That should be okay now. Yes, that should be it. Is that better? Did I tune into Kojak? No. Is that better? As I was looking at the chat. Perfect. Hooray! Excellent. Really good. Excellent. Good stuff. Yeah, sorry about that. I've swapped out my capture card. I can't remember if I did that in last week's stream or not. I think I might have talked about it. Maybe I took a picture of that and posted it on our Discord. But yeah, I've got I changed my capture card for one which has... Poppy, what the f are you doing? I swapped out the capture card. Can you actually see that? There's an AverMedia capture card there. It's the GC575. It is an absolutely stellar capture card. And it's got RGB, which I can synchronize with the rest of my RGB. So I like that. It's obviously, because it's got RGB, it's obviously better. Maybe. Anyway, everything looking good so far. Excellent. Paul Lamont says echo. Is there still echo? Or do you need to refresh your browser, Paul? You might be a little bit behind on the thing, on the stream. No echo. Nope, we're all good. Excellent. All right, let's have a look at the overhead. That was working. Yeah, you can see my hands, etc. Good stuff. And stream desktop, that appears to be working. Good. We can see that. Webcam not got connected, so let's go back to the main camera. So, good evening, everyone. It's Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. Calf's out feeding the cats. It is Saturday, the 5th of April, 2025. Yeah, it is. Just had to check. Hopefully you're all doing well and settled down, fed, watered, etc. I've got my cup of tea on hand. I made the mistake again today. I don't know why I do this whenever I'm going to do a live stream. I've made the mistake of having ridiculously salty food before doing a stream. So I've had a fry up today. So bacon, sausages, eggs, beans. I think that was it. Yeah, that was all we had left in the fridge. So that's all I put on for the fry up. We were going to have some toast, but unfortunately it had lots of green mold on it, so that went straight in the recycling thing at the end of the garden. Composter, that's the word. That's gone in there. So yeah, it's all good. So yeah, a fry up, and now I feel like my body is leaching moisture from the environment. I just feel so like dried out. So if I'm slurping away on drinks or yeah, whatever, you'll have to excuse me. This is probably boiling hot, actually. Yes, it is a little bit. Just made that. Anyway, hopefully you're all well. I see some people mentioning about the stream, the build. So someone asked, I think it was Rasher actually asked if this build has been priced up yet. And actually, to be honest with you, it hasn't. It kind of has, but it hasn't. I got a feeling I've already got a buyer for this PC lined up. For those of you that don't know or don't really follow us a great deal, a lot of these PCs I build up because I've got on kind of an accumulation of parts, and it's nice to just be able to pass on the goodwill of you guys and girls out there, and also kind of some of the bargains that we've managed to fish out from either our Discord or just from me hunting deals myself. and just pass it all on to someone else. So I basically sell the PC on for basically what it cost me, which I know is a stupid thing to do and I shouldn't do it. But even when I try and sell them at cost price, or even less than cost price, I still get people hassling me for reductions. So it's kind of a no-win situation ever. And I know that there's people out there who say, oh yeah, you could make extra 100, 200 pounds on that. Honestly, the money side of it isn't really a priority. The priority for us here is to reduce some of our stock holding and make some room in our house.
For our cats.
Cats need room too. We got 6 cats, got 2 kids. It's just a 3-bedroom house, smallish house.
2 adult kids.
2 adult children, 2 adults, well, semi-adults as parents, myself and Kath. So yeah, it's a juggling act all the time to try and balance getting stock in, reviewing items, and then trying to obviously get those items back out into the hands of gamers or just professionals who want to use a computer and want a nice computer at a sensible price, which is what we try and do. And it helps to keep the cogs of commerce all turning away and keep it all oiled up nicely. And it's getting to the point now where it's it's getting a little bit ridiculous. I actually bought in another 3 cases recently from a good friend of the channel, Dave Aitken. He was having a bit of a sell-off, so I bought another 3 cases, 3 motherboards, 2 processors, 3 power supplies. So it's all getting a little bit silly. Now I've managed to sell one of the PCs already. I've got another one which I've just finished building, which has just been listed on Facebook Marketplace, which I've got a few sniffs on already. So hopefully that'll be gone either tomorrow or early next week. And this one is another person who contacted me about the previous PC that sold last Sunday. They really, really wanted it. And they said on Friday, I'm going to try and finish work early. I'll come over to you and I'll see it. So yeah, cool, no matters, whatever. I thought they were going to have it. And then got a message from them about sort of 10 minutes before they were supposed to be here. Really sorry, my employees haven't turned up, or I've got some employees out sick. I can't get away. I'll try and get to you when I can. My apologies. So yeah, no worries. I didn't hear anything back, so someone else come in the very next day, offered me the full asking price. So it's like, well, I can't hold it. I can't get hold of the person, so there you go. I messaged him when I got the other PC built, which has just been listed on Facebook Marketplace. So look, I've just listed a PC, which is basically the same as what you wanted, but it's got a better graphics card in it. Are you interested? So that is listed, that's still pending. They said actually they wanted something a little bit different after. They wanted to spend more money. So hence why this build is being done, because this is kind of like the next step up from where we were. The parts are listed in the video description, and you can see localized pricing. Kath spent ages putting all the links in for that, so please do take advantage of those links. They are mostly affiliated links, and they all go towards helping out the channel. So any purchases you make from those links, it doesn't cost you anything else or anything more, but potentially you might be helping the channel out with a little bit of a kickback. It's a win-win situation. They're bargains that we found, we pass them on to you, and if you want to make a purchase, please feel free to do so. Obviously, the thing that is going to be coming into effect, which we probably will have to talk about, it's hard not to, is the tariffs, which are coming into place. Here in the UK, for American exports, we have to pay 10% extra to export items, or British items or English items or whatever. Stuff from the UK going to America costs 10% now. I think that's how it's worked. Or we pay 10% for stuff coming in. I don't know. It's really confusing, but basically it's going to be about 10% more expensive, probably both ways. So there is that to consider. I have heard as well on the grapevine, and possibly other news sources will be reporting this as well, there has been a dramatic increase in DRAM prices. So if you're looking to buy RAM, if you're looking to buy NAND flash based devices, M.2 drives, SSDs, all that kind of stuff, get it sooner rather than later, because the prices are going to allegedly sharply rise, like dramatically, potentially 30–40% increases in pricing, which is going to be absolutely disastrous to the PC economy, because things have just gotten to a point with DRAM where they were really nice prices, kind of pretty friendly prices. We like to see the kind of 1 terabyte drives being about £40 here, 2 terabyte drives being kind of £70 to £80 for the kind of entry level stuff. And that's where we are at the moment. It's quite favourable pricing in that regard. So it's quite nice to be able to kind of get your stock up, get your DRAM in. Also looking at DDR4 and DDR5, prices are pretty much stabilized. So you're looking at somewhere around the sort of 40 to 50 pounds for 16 gigs of reasonably branded ARGB DDR4 3200 or 3600. Round about 80 to 100 for DDR5 for 32 gigs at the moment. So pretty much kind of parity between the two if you obviously double the prices. So it's actually a pretty decent time at the moment to get involved in either a new Intel setup, maybe, or probably for most people a new AM5 setup, which is exactly what we're going to be building on the stream tonight. So yeah, pretty excited to do this, and it's actually quite a rare occasion where almost 100% of the items in this particular build are basically brand new. Quite often I kind of have a few new parts, and it's mostly stuff that's been either reviewed or seen on the channel before. It's kind of been knocking around for a while. In this particular instance, the graphics card, yes, I have owned it for probably about, well, actually longer than I probably think. Maybe about 6 months or so, but I've basically not used it. I unboxed it, I put it in my PC for less than 3 days just to see that it was actually working, and it didn't work out very well with Adobe Premiere, unfortunately. And it was at a time where I was buying another NVIDIA card. So for those video editors out there, you'll know NVIDIA cards are significantly better for most applications when it comes to content creation. So yeah, it went back in its box, and it's kind of very rarely made any appearances, maybe in the odd video for, I've used it for maybe half an hour to an hour in a video where it's just been sat there looking pretty. So yeah, the graphics card is basically brand spanking new. The RAM's new, the CPU's new, the M.2 drive is still sealed in the box. The Thermalright cooler, brand spanking new, just got that in recently. The Gigabyte power supply, still in the shrink wrap. And the case is the Constellation C5 from Antec, which we reviewed recently. I don't think that video's actually gone out live yet to the general public. I know patrons and possibly members have had access to the video already. And again, massive shout out to Colin Hilton for sending that over to us for review. Much appreciated as always. Yeah, that's it. So kind of it is, yeah, essentially a brand new PC. And most of the parts I've got at really, really good prices. So it's going to be great to be able to pass those prices on, hopefully get a nice, quick, easy sell. I always like those where someone just comes around and says, yeah, I like it, I'll take it away, pass over the cash or bank transfer or whatever, and it's gone and everyone's happy.
To be fair, they have all been pretty good, nice, decent people, aren't they?
Yeah, the people that we're meeting through Facebook Marketplace, generally, I would say 99% of them have been absolutely brilliant people. There's been the odd one or two which have been kind of slightly strange, but there's strange people in the world. We all know this. Anyway, so that is the kind of where we're at with it. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to talk about, pricing. I think this, I did actually tot it up, I think, on, right, yeah, when I list this for sale, I think it's going to be about £1,000 all in. I need to, I'm just looking at my figures here on the board that I've written up, and it looks absolutely wrong. So I'll just, PSU, yeah, no, I did get some really spectacular bargains on this, so it's going to be around about the sort of £900 mark. I would probably list it at 1,000, and obviously Facebook Marketplace is one of those places where people offer you silly amounts. The PC that went on this week, again, it's like, it was listed for I think 675 or 650, and someone offered me like £300. It's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm bound to take that. Anyway, there you go. Yeah.
I apologise if I said hello to people twice tonight. I'm a bit brain dead.
Kath's feeling a little bit tired and a little bit sort of, well, just exhausted. I think we both are. It's been a really heavy week, hasn't it? It seems to be every week. I'm absolutely.
Maisie's getting old and she wants to sleep in the bed with us, but she's not really contained. It's not been
good.
I have to keep waking her up and making her go to the litter.
So yeah, we'll take a look at some of the chat and the comments. We'll go through that in a minute. It looks like most of you, the regulars, seem to be mostly in at the moment. We've just got over 100 and 4 concurrent viewers, so that's pretty good. We like that a lot. What's on that behind me? That is the exchange rates against the dollar at the moment. So I thought that was kind of a little bit, well, very much tongue-in-cheek. I thought I'd put that out there. It's actually interesting to see what the exchange rates are doing. They don't seem to have changed a great deal. I know everyone's like thinking it's the end of the world with these tariffs, and I guess it hasn't been long enough for any of them to kick in and for any real kind of momentum to happen. But yeah, there's been a lot of money allegedly wiped off of the kind of the NASDAQ or the stock exchanges. It's basically imaginary money anyway, so it's just someone typing in numbers on a computer. Realistically, at the moment, it doesn't seem that anything has been affected, and if anything, I think some of the prices for us here in the UK, I've noticed prices going down. Maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's not. I honestly don't know. I'm not an economist in any way, shape or form. I'm just a consumer, and all I care about is how much things cost me to buy. And at the moment, there doesn't seem to be any real changes. No one seems to have drastically increased prices. Like I said, the DRAM prices are likely to go up. They haven't as of yet. So yeah, it kind of is what it is. And for any of our cousins from America out there, don't worry. We will not be taking the piss out of you much, and well, yeah, much. And yeah, there's no hard feelings or anything. So regardless of what you hear in the media and all that kind of stuff, it's like these things happen every now and then. Things get a little bit kind of wibbly wobbly, and we just deal with it. We just carry on as the human race often does whenever there's any adversity or any big changes. We just get on and do our thing. That is all we can do.
Different with America, sorry?
The tariffs.
Yeah, that's going to knock on to everyone else anyway.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, but a lot of people, everyone in the media is like reporting as being like it's the end of the world, but it's, as far as I can tell, looking outside, it's still turning.
Everything they say about the UK is all happening in every country.
Yeah.
It's not just us, ever.
That's right.
Not just the tariffs, everything.
Anyway, there we go. So, hello to those in the chat. David Underhill was first with a question mark. Not so sure what that was about. He's probably still asleep, or maybe he's in. I haven't seen yet. Arali is there. Greg M. Ari Wolfman. Paul Lamont. Mark Berry. Rick H. We've got Charles Ballard. Dave Aiken. Dave Aiken says the 7800 XT is finally finding a home. I certainly hope so. I'm losing at least £100 on that card, I think.
It was a 78,800 earlier.
Yeah, my keyboard, I think one of my keyboard switches are going on my keyboard, so every time I type in 8, it types in 88, so I've got to be careful. So that's why the stream said the 78,800. Anyway, there you go. Charles says it's been raining cats and dogs here in the loo for 24 hours.
Catch them and get them in.
Yeah. Hi Wolfman, Rasher's in the house. Oh yeah, there he goes. Hi all. Did anyone add up the total cost of this build? If you went, I think if you actually bought all the parts brand new as they are off of kind of Amazon or normal retailers, I would expect, I was looking now, CPU, motherboard, probably going to be looking around about £1,200, I think, roughly. Maybe more, maybe less, but somewhere around the sort of £1,200 to £1,300 mark, which is in itself quite insane.
But again, a quick sale to somebody who's asking for that goes through is better than time wasting.
Yeah. Where else? Ashley Strachan, Rasher's in the house. As we said, that Matthew Day says, "Eek, readjust dinner time." Sorry, Matthew. Who else? That's me. Viali 100, not feeling very well. Sorry to hear that. Got a bad cold, can hardly talk. May go to bed early. No worries. Hope you feel better.
I noticed said
Otis said also. Mark Gaines is in the house. How you doing, Mark? Says hello, Mike and Kath, and everyone in the chat. How you doing, Mark? Tom Quimby. Oh no, a Gigabyte power supply. Best to wear protective eyewear when you switch it on. There is. I've had this conversation a couple of times now. We do seem to be really fixated on anything which happens in the PC industry. So as most of you probably know, at some point, I think it was 2, maybe 3 years ago now, maybe 2, there was a range of Gigabyte power supplies which were basically not particularly well built. or they were okay, but if you give them a good tank in and put a lot of power through them, they had the potential to basically explode, catch on fire, etc. As was heavily documented over probably about 9 videos over on Gamers Nexus. He really did kick the ass out of that. And yeah, it's one of those things, I think whenever there's something bad which happens from a company, that seems to be the lasting memory, regardless of any of the good things they do. So yeah, I was kind of expecting some kind of comment about that. The thing is, Gigabyte, and actually fair play to Gigabyte, they have seemingly learned something from that negative exposure, and they've gone the extra mile and actually made the new power supplies, especially like the UD range, which is like the ultra durable, they've made them with like very, very good components internally. So I think they kind of like, they don't want to have the once bitten twice shy thing. They don't want to have another disaster on their hands. So they've really upped their game in terms of power supplies. And also for us as consumers, it actually works out really well, because obviously Gigabyte power supplies are, we do have that kind of aura to them that you're really not going to be top of your list. You're going to be looking for other brands which haven't had negative publicity of recent times. So they're often a little bit cheaper as well. And in this instance, these were from, these were actually donated from a well-known electronics company here in the UK to a national charity. And their charity just sells them then on eBay, and they have them listed wrong. So I got a reduction on what was already a pretty decent price. So yeah, these power supplies ran about £60 for the UD750, fully modular gold rated, which £60 for 750 watt fully modular power supply is pretty bloody awesome. So I was pretty pleased with that anyway. But yeah, if a company has anything go wrong with them, that generally, well, mud sticks, as they say. Hopefully they'll get past that, but I don't think they will. Hopefully people like myself who make content and kind of reassure people that, yeah, bad things happen, but hopefully we're over that now. Actually, funny enough, reading the comments of basically any power supply that I've ever reviewed, there's always a reasonable balance of people of like, I would never buy that power supply, mine did such and such and took out my entire system. And you get other people saying, these power supplies are great, I've had 10 of them and they've all been absolutely perfect. And I get that no matter what power supply it is. Yeah. So whether it's a 20 quid power supply, whether it's a 200 quid power supply, I still get those same comments across the range from all of them. So I don't think it actually makes any difference if you spend an absolute ton of money on a reputable brand that you have all got the potential to fail. Now, obviously some have got the potential to fail more than others, but I don't actually see it in any great numbers, other than like what we saw with that specific brand Gigabyte one, where there seemed to be a high failure rate.
Yeah, only 10 years ago or so, I had a Seasonic 850 gold go bang on first boot.
There you go. Viali, yeah, Seasonic power supplies are kind of people would regard as being the best in the business. They still fail, and they can still take out the rest of your components. So there isn't a safe brand as such. There's some which are inherently slightly more safer than others because of the quality of them, but then you pay for that as well. Ultimately, it's a gamble. Every time you turn on your PC, it's a gamble. Right, Nick Barnes, I say Charles Ballard, Viali, we've said, Nick Barnes, Rick H, how you doing, Rick? Danny Boyd, Gesundheit, bless you too. Have I missed anybody out yet? No.
Nick Stone.
Hello, Nick Stone. Arnold G, how you doing, Arnold?
An Arrow Core 1000 watt integrator. Any comments?
Where are we? Nick Stone. Yeah, Aerocool's a slightly unusual brand actually, because Aerocool are one of the kind of, I would argue, the slightly lower tier globally, but mid-tier in their home countries. So Aerocool are a Taiwan-based company, and in the Asian area, they're actually very highly regarded. Whereas AeroCool in the kind of the UK and parts of Europe would almost be disregarded as being kind of like Chinesium. I hate people saying that because it's one of those things, but by me saying it, hopefully you can understand where I'm coming from with that. Chinesium being kind of a derogatory term for any cheap stuff that comes out of China, which it kind of is, but it kind of isn't as well at the same time. AeroCool power supplies, I've owned numerous Cylon power supplies, integrators, I've had a couple. I've never had any of their high or mid-range power supplies. So honestly, I wouldn't know what to tell you without actually kind of taking it apart, having a look inside at the construction, the capacitors and the soldering quality. I would have no idea, but I would imagine AeroCool are a reasonable brand. So I don't think you should have any real problems with that at all. Cyberclue says it wasn't just a bad PSU. Gigabyte tried to pretend the issue wasn't real and tried to blow it off, and it turned into a PR nightmare from what I remember. I'll be honest with you, I don't recall much of the actual PR side of it. All I remember is just Gamers Nexus getting very excited, as he does. Matthew Day says Big Clive loves reviewing Chinesium. Viali says, anyone looking for 140mm fans? Fantex M24 Gen 2 pack of 3 fitted together, £30, normal or reverse. Yeah, I still need to look at those actually. I've got them written down on my list to investigate. So we'll be taking a look at that. Let's have a look there. I think I'm good. Oh, what's that? For the fans? Yeah. Yeah, Kath will put the link in the chat in a minute for those fans if anyone's interested. Alrighty.
Thanks for the advice.
You're very welcome. Don't take my my opinion as advice. It's just an opinion. And I should actually mention this at the beginning of every video and every stream. I am not a professional. No matter, I am not a professional. This is effectively my hobby. Yes, I've got many, many years experience, but I am not a professional. I do not work in the computer industry. I have done, but I don't any longer. So anything I say is basically based around my own research, my experience, or my opinion. And please do take it as that. Don't take anything I say as being gospel.
Don't take anything anyone says.
You shouldn't do that with anything, realistically. I know the whole kind of YouTube and influencer type thing mentality is like, yeah, you should definitely buy this. If I say that, it's my opinion. It's not based on any statistical or analytics or anything other than my opinion. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone's aware of that and takes it on board.
But not just computer stuff, everything.
Yeah, with everything, yeah. I should have a disclaimer at the start of the video. Everything said in this stream is my opinion. And I'm not affiliated with any other company. Something of interest, well, probably won't be. Some of you may have noticed the new Mike's Unboxing logo adorned to this hoodie, which has actually been created and lovingly applied to this hoodie by myself. Well, not all of it, actually. That is what the logo was on there. These are ones I had printed up ages ago, probably about 2 years ago, maybe even longer. And the logo was on there, so I thought, I'm going to add a YouTube button to it to make it stand out a little bit more. And also, it highlights my nipples, which is always a good thing.
You should put it on the other side.
I might put one on the other side as well. I didn't stop there, so I've actually done the back of the hoodie as well. So if I spin around, you can see we also on the back have Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. It almost looks like there's a mirror of the mouse mat there. So yeah, these are new and they stretch as well, so it's not like they crack or anything. It's not like cheap transfers. So yeah, I actually invested some money and got...
Get your boxes out.
Oh, they're upstairs. You can get them if you want. So I actually did some Mike's Unboxing boxer shorts as well yesterday. So they were pretty cool. So there's going to be some, potentially we're going to do some more merch stuff. It will probably be very, 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 very low scale, kind of literally handmade stuff, which me and Kath will be doing here. So yeah, there's not going to be any kind of big sale or anything. It's just like, it might happen. Potentially we might try and give out some freebies to some of our like long-term supporters and stuff, but we'll see what we can do. I need to find some t-shirts and some other stuff, so potentially I might start asking for your t-shirt or hoodie sizes or whatever. Actually, there is a very lightweight hoodie which I normally wear during the streams.
Oh, you won't be able to do it on that.
But I don't think it'll work because it's a little bit too fluffy, so I might have to rethink that. But yeah, it's good stuff, and actually it's come out, I think it's come out very well. It looks great. And I've got some, got it from this company, amazingtransfers.com.
You going out or not?
And I saw their advert on Facebook, and I've been thinking about trying to do it for ages. So I'll just show you what it actually comes out like, or what you get. So basically, these are like banner sheets, and it's a special DTF transfer. And so just make all your logos, various different shapes and sizes, onto the film, cut them out, and yeah, basically put it through a clothes press. I believe, well, I don't know about dishwasher. You wouldn't want to put your clothes in a dishwasher, but they're not the. I am going to be probably getting the other ones also. So you can get ultraviolet transfers, which you can put onto things like plates, cups, glassware, anything kind of non-porous. You can. They're dishwasher proof, yeah. So I might be getting some of those as well. I've always wanted to do some Mike's Unboxing mugs, because we've never actually had any other than that one there, which was a Christmas present, yeah. Oh, what's that in there? Oh. Yeah. I've turned into Groot. I am Groot. Kath, where are the logos for the professional camera operator? That's a very good question. Actually, Strachan says I'm burnt to a crisp. What a lovely day, evening all. It was quite nice out. I spent probably about an hour or so out in the garden earlier, tidying up some of the grass and overgrown shit. Yeah, it was quite nice, quite pleasant. So yeah, it's excellent stuff. And the boxer, Sinister Chef. Yeah, the boxers. I did the boxer shorts last night actually, and they've turned out amazing. I'm really pleased with the Mike's Unboxing boxer shorts. They are fantastic. I'm not too sure how well they're gonna. Apparently, the transfers have got a guarantee of 50 washes, which I think for some people is going to be kind of outlast them.
50 washes? That's like.
Well, it depends how often you wear it. Yeah, but if some people don't wear something from 1 month to the next, do they? Or from one season to the next, so it could last indefinitely. I honestly don't know, but we'll see how it goes. We'll do some testing. We'll do some testing first, do some washes, and yeah, we'll see how well and how durable they are before we start trying to farm them out. But
so that means if you're lucky, it'll go 50 washes.
Yeah, if you're lucky. Anyway, there we go.
Or if you washed it once a week, because you had 5 of them, or 7 in your case, then that'd be less than a year, wouldn't it?
Greg M says spring may be coming next week. Snow is slowly melting. Where are you then, Greg? Are you in Canada, or are you in North America? I'm just going to take my hoodie off a minute because I'm getting a little bit warm in here, but I did want to show that off. And actually, I'll give you a little bit of a close up of the of the artwork. And I think the actual. You can see there's lots of cat hair, so I do apologise for those. No. But it's actually bonded on there really well, and of course it stretches with the fabric as well, which is always good. So yeah,
here's me in my plain black t-shirt.
Kath's in her plain black t-shirt because she doesn't represent ever.
No, because you'd never give me anything.
You've got 3 hoodies upstairs at least, and a t-shirt. You wore one at BBC, Mike's unboxing one. We both did at the same time. That's a picture on our bloody logo.
I've lost a lot of weight since then. It's not going to fit, is
I have to get you a smaller one.
like a bloody night game.
I got a medium upstairs, that'll do. You're getting that.
I'm getting it.
I've gone up from a medium to a large, and Cal's gone from
I
a.
was small back then.
Oh really?
I mean, extra small, if not even XX small. Is there even such a thing?
So Greg's in Canada, north of North Dakota. Oh, dear.
And Super Mac Pool still.
Super Mac Pool, where? What one?
I download.
Hang on, where's my mouse? Oh, there we go. I download Sophos Scan and found out I have 15 malware. Don't know how I got malware. It's easy to do. You can pick up malware easily, especially today in like the modern world. You can click on any links and basically it downloads it silently in the background. It's very, very, very easy to get stuff on your system, especially if you're just clicking on stuff pretty randomly and you're not a little bit cautious. If you use like Outlook and you just click on links from Outlook, you just got to be really, really careful what you're doing these days. Anyway, yeah. Maybe try running a scan with another antivirus to see if it kind of validates what Sophos Scan has found.
Nick Warren's hijacked Jew's hoodie.
Phil Stodd says, I remember there was a special printer media that you could make your own transfers on an inkjet printer. I've still got some. We've still got some down there. I'm not sure if I threw it away. There was one of the original Mike's Unboxing t-shirts with the original logo. I'm pretty sure I threw it out, didn't I?
Yeah.
Because our logo used to be black and white. The original logo. Well, no, that was the second, because this is the third iteration of the logo we're on now. Believe it or not. The first one was a box. The first one was just a box, a brown cardboard box. I kind of like that. Then we had the more kind of stylized Mike's Unboxing logo. Gaff hated it, and then we got this one, which I don't know. I kind of like it, and I think it's got to the point now where we've been using it for so long. If I changed it, people would be like, what's going on?"
But you ain't got a nipple on that.
It's kind of stuck with it now.
Hello.
Oh?
You've got no nipples on that one.
No, I'm nippleless. Right. Okay. Phoenix says, how many FPS can we get on Warzone Quad HD in this config? So, what is Quad HD? That's 1440? Yeah, 1440p, isn't it? So with this config, Warzone, I honestly don't know. I don't play Warzone. I would imagine if you looked at any kind of online benchmarks of the 7800XT with Warzone at your kind of resolution and also your game settings, I would imagine it's probably going to be, I don't know, somewhere around 200, maybe 250 FPS. I honestly don't know. I'm guessing at that. But I know Warzone is a game which is very highly AMD optimized, so on this configuration it should absolutely fly. Maybe if there's anybody else who plays Warzone at 1440p, maybe. Yeah, because HD is 720 in it, so double 720 would be 1080p. No, is Quad HD 4K? I honestly don't know. Yeah, full HD is 1080p, so Quad HD. Yeah, 720p plus 720. Oh, I don't know. It should be good. Quad HD 1440p. Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, because QHD is 1440p and UHD is 4K. Yeah, UHD is 4K, Nick Barnes says. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, so yeah, you should be getting like 250, maybe even 300 FPS. I'm not entirely sure. Again, Warzone, I don't get time for many games at all. Which is sad, really. There should be more hours in a day. Speaking of more hours in a day, we need to get on with this, otherwise there will be no hours left in the day and I have achieved absolutely nothing, as they say in the Wales. Right, so let's get some bits over onto the table so we can have a look. Power supply, as we know, so Gigabyte UD750w, fully modular gold power supply. Excellent little power supply. I've actually installed a couple of these already now. Very, very quiet. If you're someone who appreciates a quiet PC, yeah, you can do a lot worse than these, trust me. This is the only bit which I'm a little bit dubious about, but it's good for the sales aspect. So this is a Fitwot Mars. This is a 2TB NVMe drive, PCI Express Gen 3 x 4. Part of the reason I've chosen this, A, is because it's 2 TB, and B, because the person who's been actually messaging me about buying the PC is massively into retro gaming. So I'm thinking a PCI Express Gen 3 x 4 drive is still going to be ample fast enough for even modern games, but for the retro side of things, you could store an absolute metric shit ton of ROMs on here for the various emulators out there, and you're still going to have so much room. And this was a pretty decent price at the time. So I think this cost me about £67, £68 for a 2 TB drive, which is pretty decent. So that is the reasoning behind that. The processor from our good friends at AliExpress. This is the Ryzen 7 7700. Arguably the best value processor on the market, full stop, without any shadow of doubt. This thing absolutely rocks. I don't think there's another processor on the market that I would recommend at the moment other than that if you're building a PC. It's actually worth basing your PC build around that CPU, I think, personally. RAM-wise, we have got the Kingston Fury Beast. This is CL30. Nice set of RAM. DDR5 6000, I had to think then. Yeah, RGB, lovely stuff. Again, I got a spectacular deal on this. These are normally about 100 quid, and I paid about 55, 60. So obviously the savings that I've got there, I can then pass on, make the PC much more enticing. Although obviously as RAM gets more expensive, I probably will be shooting myself in the foot by not charging more for it, but anyway, it is what it is. Graphics card, as we've already said, this is actually a very rare graphics card. I don't think you can actually get these anymore. So this is the actual reference model from AMD, although technically they didn't do a reference model, but being that Sapphire are the company that makes AMD reference models, this is what is called the MBA, or made by AMD. So this is as close to AMD's original design as you can possibly get. So it's basically, yeah, it's very rare.
RAM in white?
It's very hard to get this. Yeah, RAM you can get in white, yes. So graphics card, that's what we got. Powerful card. That cost me, I'm pretty sure it was either 529 or 499 or 509, something around that figure. And I've priced it in this build as being £400. Based on what you can buy stuff for now, and then taking a bit off as well, just to basically, for any of the doubters out there saying, well, you can buy those new for such and such, like, well, it is basically new. I've just had it for a while and not used it. So yeah, make it cheaper and people won't complain. At least that's the theory. Motherboard, we're going with a Gigabyte board. I thought, being that we've got a Gigabyte power supply, Gigabyte motherboard, why not? So this is the B650 Gaming X AX V2. This is a lovely board. All the features on there, built-in fast wireless 6E connectivity on here, not Wi-Fi 7. 2.5 gig LAN, loads of VRM chokes, loads of M.2 capacity, so if you want to add on drives, it's absolutely great for that. Case and the cooler we'll take a look at when we get around to it, but the case, like we said, is the Antec C5 ARGB, and the cooler is the Thermalright Aqua Elite 360 version 3. I'm not sure what happened to versions 2 and the original one, but surely they exist. And I've used the version 3. I've actually got the white one up there, which I've reviewed. Sorry?
Back antenna or shark fin?
Good question. I've got a feeling this is a... This is the, like a bat. Not shark fin, but it's the newer version. I've just realised there is actually a processor on here already. So I've got an extra processor that I didn't realise I had. Oh, happy days.
Is that the processor you were saying the other night?
I was saying the other day to Kath, I was saying, I'm sure I got another one of these somewhere. And I couldn't find it. I was like, oh, whatever. And it's, yeah.
And what did I say?
There it is. What? You're like, you sure it's not on a board still? Or in a box? Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
So, yeah. No, because I normally take them out. So, yeah. Oh, well, I've got another spare processor. I'll put it with the other one. So, I've been stocking up on these from AliExpress. They're awesome. I'll put that up there with the others. Excellent. Hey, I just found a CPU. Woo! Excellent stuff. Dave Aiken says Ultimate Flex, Ryzen 7700s lying around that you didn't know you had. Well, I kind of thought I did, but well, you know what it's like. If you've got like loads of motherboards and stuff that you're juggling loads of bits, it's very easy to mislay stuff. I'm wondering now if there's actually an M.2 drive on here as well. We should start and we'll have a look. Normally I leave the stuff inside the box if there is anything, so yeah, that should have been a giveaway. The socket cover.
What, right at the bottom of the box where the motherboard's on the top and you couldn't see it anywhere. You're funny. Steve?
Oh dear. Oh, well that's a fantastic bit of news though, isn't it? And I've got...
I don't know you're actually even doing it, to be fair. Okay.
I've actually got 2 motherboards under the desk which are waiting for processors to build. So that is, yeah, that's excellent. No bent pins on the 7700. No. There's no bent pins on the user 457 says, what's the read write on the Fitwot? I honestly don't know. I think it's, oh shit, that hurt. Does it say on the box? Probably not. Well, if you have a look online, it's the FX550 NVMe. I'm pretty sure it's like 3500, which is absolutely fine. Actually, I'll see if I can find it. Amazon UK, FX550 Fitwot, who's the Fitwot? Yeah, read-write speeds up to extra.
Oh, yeah.
Halifax, isn't it? Yeah. Amazing how these things get into your brain, isn't it? Yeah, Fitwot FX550 NVMe, 2TB NVMe, read speeds of up to 3,500 megabytes per second. Yeah, they're 85 quid now. How much did I pay? Let's have a look. View order. View order. I know, I bought 2 things at the same time. Is that plus VAT or excluding? Yeah, £67.99 I paid, so yeah. And the return window was 1st of February for the 30 days, so yeah, I bought it in January. But it's got a 3-year warranty, I believe. So yeah, 3-year warranty, it's all good. Do I want the box? Yeah, I might as well use the box. Right, so obviously we can't install the processor because it's already installed. Isn't that great? Let's put the overhead camera on so you ladies and gentlemen can see what is going on. And where's my camera?
They can't see what's going on.
They can't see a thing.
They're missing out on little Dave, led on his back. His legs all akimbo.
There we go, you can see that. So not going to be very exciting. We're just going to install the RAM. So let's open up the Jewels of Doom. Leto says, what is the IOPS on that drive? I'm not too sure. Oh crap. I dropped the RAM. I've done a Linus. Shit. That'll be fine. So these are the Kingston Fury Beast. These are nice sticks of RAM actually. I bought 3.
Beast. No, they're not.
They beast? No, they're broken. Yeah, Kath was saying earlier when he was trying to do links. Are these the beast ones? Like, no, I don't think they are. They're just Fury. And I didn't realise it did say beast on there as well, so my apologies for that.
Skipping them all. No, not this, because it says beast on it. So
Okay.
I looked at it.
These have got both the Expo and Intel XMP 3.0 profiles. So that's nice. And now we can put the M.2 drive in.
Scott Gordon.
Let's grab a screwdriver. Scott Gordon, just click that CPU link. Holy shit. I can't work out what that is. So cheap, is it? Is that what it means? Cheap? They are, yeah. The AliExpress links for these CPUs, honestly, like if you are considering an AM5 build at any time, just get yourself a Ryzen 7 7700. They are fantastic processors. I've just taken my my 7700X out of the streaming PC and put a 7700 in because it runs basically exactly the same, but quieter because it's only a 65 watt CPU rather than being, what was it, 90 or 95.
Simon Miller.
And it's super easy to cool as well. Simon Miller, hi Mike. Had the boys mate over, 9 years old. He was jealous of my son's gaming PC. His mum can't afford a PC for him. Best shoestring options to play Fortnite, Minecraft and Forza. Ooh, that is a good question. I would say if you're on an absolute budget, you're probably going to be looking at something without a graphics card, so integrated graphics, which some are okay these days, some are not. So it's a tricky one really. If you're on a budget, if you give me an idea of how much your budget is, I can advise you, but without knowing what your budget is, like if your budget's 200 or 300, that's going to be much different if it's kind of 500 or 600. So yeah, if you can let us know either way, and I can try and advise you. But yeah, my idea of a budget and your idea of a budget may be very different things. Why is that not going down? Go on.
He's saying it's not cheap or something. Let's see what he said.
Oh, where did he look?
But that price is high, 10,050. 9.90, not sure use currency. You have to set it as your currency first of all.
Yeah, if you go into AliExpress, when you log in, it's got the currencies at the top. And again, depending on the region, you may have some sort of tariffs applied already. I'm not sure.
I'll put the link in again.
It seems to be putting an awful lot of pressure on there.
29.68 for us.
Yeah, that feels like it's got a heatsink on it already. I think this drive's actually got its own heatsink on it. Oh yeah, it has. It's got quite a thick pad on there. I can pull that off. Do I want to pull that off though?
Simon Miller's UK. 200 maybe, Dell, Optilex and old GPU.
Yeah, if you're looking 200 odd quid, you are going to struggle. It's yeah, I don't know, for £200 I would struggle to come up with something myself, to be honest. That isn't an easy one.
Skystalker says you can try a 8600G processor for a build without a video card.
Yeah, but the 8600G's 200 quid almost on its own. Maybe that's just going to want a bit of pressure then. Well, yep, that's fine. That's in. I was hoping that wasn't going to be quite as under tension as that, but whatever, it's fine. I could have just put it in sort of one of the lower slots, really. I'm actually saying that they've got heat sinks on as well.
Skystalker says, like, it doesn't have a HS. It's likely double-sided DRAM chips.
It's actually, there is something on there, but it's like a thick pad. Oh, I'm going to leave it. It's fine. It's fine. Right, so we've got RAM, we've got our CPU. A little bit of thermal paste there, no, there's blue roll. A little bit of blue roll there. I've actually got some cotton buds, or what do you call these in America? Q-tips. Which over here a Q-tip is something which you put on the end of a snooker cue.
A letter cue.
There, nice and clean. Look, imagine if that cut out of your ear holes.
Ear pick.
Ear pick, yeah.
Like you just pick.
Right, so that Mobo is good, running it myself. Lucky man, how you doing, lucky man? Q-tips. Just Dance calls them Wattenschaft. Or Wattenstaff. Ashley Strachan, yeah. Yeah, to be fair, if you're 200 quid, you're probably better off getting an Xbox. At least that way you've got like a guaranteed level of performance to it. Or find yourself a wealthy benefactor. Right, I think that is it. I don't think we need to do anything else to the board. So, yeah, I think we're done here.
It says Q-tip is a brand name. I call them ear gunk cleaners.
Ear gunk cleaner.
Because stick to Q-tip.
Yeah, let's just call it Q-tips. That's fine. Right, let's go over. Let's put that to one side because we don't need that anymore. And we can get out our case and also take another look at the cooler. And I'm going to get a drink as well because I am thirsty as a mofo.
I make one. You've scared Davey.
Hello, Dave.
He's left down there.
For those of you that are wondering about the cooler, that is what we're going to be installing in the near future, with any luck. And yeah, these Thermalright coolers are absolutely awesome. The only thing is with them, which I would say, if I was to be negative in any way about them, is the quality control. So every now and then you'll get one with an absolutely hideously sounding pump, but if you get it on Amazon, obviously it's easy to turn back, send back.
Plate, Mike. Oh, you didn't need a drink.
No, I got one there.
I need to go make one, but I'm waiting for you to that case like so lazy that get started when I put her down.
I have got a few AM5, what are they called?
Retentions?
No, not retention clamps, because I haven't got any more of those. I've got the
Guard.
paste guard, thank you, well done.
You've got to be known, actively knowing these things.
Yeah. You're pretty sharp tonight, well done. Beating me.
Unlike your nails, do you need my...
Yeah, can you open that box for me? Sorry everybody, talk amongst yourselves. Hey, it's good to see plenty of you in the chat tonight. Currently we've got just over 150 of you watching live at the moment. So don't be shy. Smash the like button. Because YouTube are punishing us at the moment. They're bastards.
And we're on Rumble.
Yeah, and we're on Rumble if you want to watch us on Rumble.
And Odyssey.
And Odyssey.
Although recent ones aren't on Odyssey. YouTube stopped that happening.
Yeah. Ouch, electric shock. I know, I'll pick it up with my bad arm. That's a brilliant idea.
Better take the bag off for yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you put that back on the flat? I'll put Maisie on it when I go make a drink a minute.
Okay.
Thank you. You go on there a minute, Maisie? There we go. 2 seconds.
Right, sorry about that. Hey, that's worked out well. We've got 163 viewers now.
Do you want a drink?
I should leave the overhead camera on more often.
Fine with that, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine, yeah. Could I have a glass of water, please? And if we got any cordial stuff?
Where'd you keep it?
By the side of the fridge normally.
I don't think it fits in there anymore, does it?
No, I don't think there is.
on there. Is that it?
Bum. Yeah.
You need to get down Mel in his kitchen.
I will have to go to Mel's. Mike, we are still on top view. I know. Oh, I think I just pulled something then, getting this out of the box. Right. So this is the case we're using. This is the Antec C5, as kindly donated to us by the legend that is Colin Hilton. He is the legend. I think he's taken over from Ugly Bob these days. Bless his heart. Shall I take that off there? Oh, crap. That hurt. Yep, that comes off as well. Oh. No, I forgot. It barely comes off because it is still attached with the umbilical cord, so I might actually leave that in place. Okay, so that is the Antec C5, as you obviously you can pretty much gather. This is an unusual case in the fact that it comes included with 7 fans. And they're not the best fans, but they're 7 fans and they move air. So there's not really much more you could ask for than that. You've got 6 reverse airflow. And you've got 1 normal airflow on the back. So my theory is the reverse airflow ones generally don't move as much air as a normal airflow fan. So by having an AIO in the top with 3 120s, you also got a 120 on the back. So the reduced output of the 6 intake versus the exhaust of the 4 fans should just about make it positive air pressure, which is how I like it to be. So that way it doesn't try and pull in dust at every opportunity. And also because you've got the really nice perforations on the PCI Express ports on the back, it means that any additional heat which is around the GPU will hopefully be pushed out through those slot covers, keeping the GPU just a little bit cooler. Not a massive amount, but I think in a lot of instances, a little bit of positive pressure actually is pretty beneficial in pretty much any gaming case, or any gaming case of a kind of certain type of setup. So I think we should go ahead and put the motherboard in. Let's get that in first of all. And in order to do that, I will go back to the overhead camera. I'll be keeping an eye on the comments whilst you're doing it. Monster case. It is pretty big. It's actually not a bad case, to be fair. I don't know if it's worth how much Antec want for it. I'm in a fortunate position where I didn't pay for it, so Colin did. Bless his heart. Oh, and I didn't leave the screws in the pillars. I often leave the screws in the pillars so I know which ones they are. But it doesn't matter. It's not a problem. We can stick those in pretty quick. I still need to address not having an overhead light for this overhead view. It's a little bit on the dim side. But hey ho. Here's what it is. I've got some cable ties and some accessories, and we've got a little baggy bag. Maisie, you can't be tired. You've been asleep all day. Right, so let's try the coarse thread. See if those fit. Nope, doesn't seem to be. So these are going to be the fine thread going into the motherboard. So let's grab ourselves 9 of those. There's one downside about black cases is black screws, and you can't really see the threads on them particularly easily. At least you may be able to if you're a youngster, but as your eyesight starts going a little bit as you get older, judging between the thin and the fine screws gets harder and harder, I think, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments, actually, do you find that you struggle to see the difference between the coarse and the fine threaded screws on PC builds these days, especially on the black ones? Really hard to see, I think. So motherboard is going to slot in here very nicely indeed. And let's get that lined up. And doesn't want to go under there. There we go. Happy days. And sadly, they've decided for some bizarre reason not to have a locating lug. Or have I left a screw in there somewhere? Doesn't seem to be sitting down nicely. No, those are all in the right places. So we've got 9 pillars for the 9 holes in the motherboard. Let's get the I/O lined up roughly. So that should be about right. We'll see. Right, where's t'other screwdriver? And I think actually I'm going to go ahead and magnetize the screwdriver because I haven't done this for a while. I'm not sure if you're supposed to just put this through or what the deal is with this, but it looks rather... Are you supposed to just go round and round, or are you supposed to go in and out, or what? I don't know. Someone tell me. I did watch a video on it, but I forget what they did. It seems to have worked now. We seem to have found our screw hole straight away, so that's good. O'Reilly's, oh my. Arnold Jesus, side to side, she's happy. Gone X-rated. There we go. For anyone who's watching this with their parents, my apologies. Have to lick it first, says Irie Wolfman. Where is Ugly Bob to be commented on that? I know. Simon Miller, John Doe Sullivan says, Simon Miller, was it you questioned about the PC earlier on for £200? And Adam says you can do that with any good magnet. You don't need that silly shaped tool. Oh, okay. Well, it was a gift from William Bodie, and he's not been very well recently, so I like to use it just so that he knows that I appreciate him, as I do all of you, although some more than others. Bless your hearts. Sky says Mike licks everything. Ask him about his RAM licking. Funny story. Back in the day of the Corsair DDR4 RAM, when it almost pretty much when it first came out, I had a couple of sticks which were 2133 rated, or were they 2133 or 24? I can't remember, but they were quite low-end sticks, and for some reason they were crashing like crazy. Which wasn't that unusual for DDR4 in the beginnings, as some of us will remember. And yeah, I was trying all these sorts of things. And I thought, well, what the hell, I'll just lick them. And I licked them, and no word of a lie, it worked straight away. And I think I actually did it in a live stream. And most people were as shocked as I was.
Still on top of you. That's
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a bit behind on it also.
So there we go. There is our motherboard installed. And actually, I think it's kind of like a nice contrast there. We've got a few little bits of white on the fan blades. We've got the RGB, obviously those will be illuminated, and hopefully the white areas or silver areas here mostly are going to be covered up, but the splashes of colour where it hits anything lighter should kind of reflect those colours, I think. So yeah, that's a pretty good start so far. So I think the next thing to do is to take a look at the I/O and also install the power supply. So I am going to switch views, I believe.
Code Hollow. Hey, I caught a mic stream.
Yay! Thanks for joining us. Code Hollow Cloud. Tiger Bomb says, I lubed my standoffs because I had one get stuck and could not unscrew. To remove motherboard, make sure the standoffs are tight. Scott says a pencil eraser works well as well for the RAM. Yeah. Sinister Chef says, we appreciate you too, Mike and Kathy. Oh, thank you. Bless your heart. I'm thinking about this now, actually. I should have passed through the cables. Yeah, where is Ugly Bob indeed? This is going to be an area now where I'm going to be a little frustrated because trying to get to the bottom I/O on this is a little bit of a challenge due to the layout of the motherboard and the case. Because it's relatively compact for what is a kind of dual chamber case, what it gains in width, it loses in height. So this is where sometimes something like the C8, which is the kind of the bigger brother of this, would be a bit more beneficial. You must have jumped off your chair.
Yeah, I've been on my chair, I think. I've only just moved over. Thought you wanted to get on my chair.
So I have to remove this drive mount. I was tempted with this just to put a 1 terabyte SSD in it, like an old 2.5-inch drive, but no.
Jared says, could you do that screwdriver thing again?
Can I do that screwdriver thing again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Please feel free to take screenshots or GIFs or whatever. If I end up on a GIF on Discord, I will be very upset. But also a little bit pleased. Mark Gaines come in with a £10 super chat. Thank you very much, Mark Gaines.
In your ass this time.
Yeah, it could have been worse, couldn't it?
What's the TV thing?
Oh, you've lost the TV thing.
That's the only remote we've got now. Ah!
Come on, Kath, sort it out.
Sorry, Mark, I've got cats in my lap.
I'm thinking there could have been a worse time for that to happen, but there probably isn't. Thank you, Mark.
Did you put it on screen?
No, I haven't. I can't even find my mouse. Someone's...
There you are. Come on, Kath.
Come on.
Come on, Mike.
There we go. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. That's a super sticker, isn't it? #1 fan. Thank you, Mark. Oh, my shoulder hurts.
Oh, so does Maisie have to be in.
I have ruined my shoulder. I don't know what I've done to it. I slept funny about 2 weeks ago, and I had my arm in a weird position, and I seem to have trapped a nerve or something in there, and it still ain't right. It's driving me insane. Slowly, more and more insaner. Right, anyway, that's enough about my problems. Let's get some of these cables passed through to the bottom. So yeah, there's a lot going on here at the bottom of the case. So let's try and cable manage some of this to begin with, and hopefully that will make it less traumatic towards the end. So there is our HD audio. Just going to pass that through. And next to that, along the bottom, what we're going to have, USB 3. Is that on the board? That is on the side, luckily. So that I don't need yet. USB Type-C is going to be on the side also. And we'll have our front panel connections. Oh crap, I just pulled the audio one straight back out. That was a little reckless. Pass that back through. Front panel connections are going to go through at the bottom just there. Yeah, this is really tight actually. It's good that all the cables are hidden.
Lucky your screwdriver went magnetizer went too tight.
David Ernst has slept funny. Unusual nickname for Kath. No, it wasn't. It was one of the other cats. Not that cat. The other cat.
One without an H on the end.
It was the cat without an H. Yeah. Let's have some iced water.
Good to you, I am. That's
Yeah.
okay. You're welcome.
Mm.
Wait for it.
Mm. Very good. Cool, that's cold. Woo! Jeepers. Right, I might as well pass those through as well. So these are from the RGB control board on the bottom. So what I'm aiming to do, excuse me, what I'm aiming to do is run these from possibly the bottom, leaving me the top ones for the radiator. So I kind of separate or segregate things up a little bit. But looking down there, there's, oh God, there's not a lot of room. Jason Woods, £5 super chat. Thank you very much, Jason Woods. Sorry I'm late to the party. Sorry I'm late, but party. Sorry, my mistake. I read that completely wrong. Thank you very much. I didn't charge up my head torch, which is a common error. I wonder if the other one's charged up. Actually, I've got 3. I've only got 1 head. Well, that's debatable, I suppose, but let's see if I can get this sucker working so I can actually see what's going on. So, minding the eyes. No, that is flat as a proverbial thing. Is that the on button? Yep, that one's flat. Damn it. I've got another one here, which I think I was sent for a review, but I don't think I ever used it. I'm not sure who sent me this, actually. This thing is like something out of Street Hawk.
It's like that thong.
It is like an upside down thong. How do I turn it on? Oh, is that flat as well? Jesus.
That's instant karma.
Instant karma.
That to me.
Right, here we go. Rock on.
Get the screwdriver and do that thing with your thong on.
Right. You lot can't see this, but I can, so my apologies. Is that HD audio? Yes, it is. And where's the missing block at the bottom? There we go. Actually, with the fans in the way at the bottom, this is an absolute pain in the ass. I'm not taking those out. No, sir. Front panel audio. Oh, God, yeah, that is an absolutely atrocious place. Discord. There we go. What other settings have we got for this lamp? Oh. Various settings, right. Yeah, I can't see the bloody front panel connector hardly. So what have I got? Power switch, hard drive LED, so that's the bottom one, so I'm going to do that first. Oh God, yeah, that is a awkward bastard to get to.
Do you want me to set?
You can do the whole build if you want.
Turn off the camera.
What now?
I've got it on 2x speed to get up to date on it.
Yeah.
And it is
I just blinded myself.
You blinded yourself in 2x fastness.
I'm glad that has amused you.
Do you want to see it?
I already did see it when it blasted my eye sockets out.
That's twice the speed.
Oh God! I knocked myself out on the light there. Oh God, not again. Right, that is lovely and tidy. So, oh, for God's sakes, this thing sticks out like a right proper appendage. It's unbelievable. Who sent me this nonsense? Someone's going to be on the unfollowed list, I think. What's the matter with you? Right, RGB. Ooh, I think there's 2 RGBs on there. No, there's not. There's only one. Oh, that is unfortunate. Right, there's one on the bottom. What?
Just so I get 2x speed.
Right, can you stop watching me injuring myself? Because it's really distracting.
Well, stop making me go off this screen.
Okay.
Slow my window down.
Right, what have I got here? Chassis fan 2. CPU, opt CPU fan, sys fan. So those will be fine for that. So sys fan RGB. There he goes, O'Reilly with his £20. Thank you, O'Reilly. Says thank you, Kath, for the thong comparison. Yeah. That does feel a bit weird, actually. It does remind me, actually, when I go to bed at night. And if I cuddle up to Kath, her hairy ass. They love a good laugh.
Oh, even you're laughing, aren't you, AT?
Okay. It's not quite as stubbly though.
Oh, you make me laugh.
Right, ARGB. Mike, you need the OnlyFans header. This build isn't going to be completed before midnight. Who said that? Where are we?
Carter, 2 years to build a good reputation and literally 2 minutes to lose it these days.
Well, I'm lucky that I didn't have a good reputation to begin with. I've always been the kind of the actually I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that anymore. There used to be a phrase that you'd have if you were like the kind of the odd one out of your family or whatever. But I don't think you're allowed to say it anymore, so I'm not going to say it. It used to be a phrase, but maybe it isn't anymore.
Song in Australia is what you call flip-flops.
Right.
G-string though.
G-string, yeah.
Call it a G-string on his head.
Oh dear.
Even Skyfilter said, Chris, I don't think he really had a reputation to worry about.
No. I was YouTube's unwanted son. I've made my peace with it. I made my peace with that long time.
To get some hot dogs, and while she was gone, the stream devolved into something funny.
It happens. Not often, but it happens. Why do they make USB-C headers not universal? That is such a stupid thing, isn't it? Like USB-C, the whole point of it is the header or the plugs are universal, but the motherboard headers aren't. It just seems such a jackass thing for them to do. Hey ho. That's just a me problem though, isn't it? Dutch Jan, there we go, yeah. I'm not even sure if you're allowed to say that anymore. I know what the world has come to. It's very strange. Where people get upset about things which they shouldn't really get upset about.
Apologise for delaying that one.
Right, I'm going to undo all of these cable ties, which I've already done cable management with.
You're not.
Thanks again, Kath.
Sorry?
Thank you.
What for?
For just being you.
Here.
Hey? Ah,
Well, obviously.
Rasher has sent a £20 gift certificate thing. No, PayPal, that's the one. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Sorry, I looked at the camera. That is, yeah, that's a
And
bit of a...
apologies for me not seeing it. I'll get catching up on the chat still.
Kath's playing solitaire.
My eye, my eyes are still blurred from Mike being so funny.
I do have funny moments sometimes. They're not that frequent, but when they are, they're quite good. Kath used to be, well, and me, we both used to be pretty despised at the BBC when we worked there, because I would say something and she would just love it and laugh her head off, and like that would encourage me to do it more, and they hated me doing it. So Kath would encourage me even more, and it would just get out of hand.
And then they'd shout at me for encouraging you.
And then they'd shout at Kath for encouraging, yeah. It's good fun. Right, I think that is everything connected up that we need to so far at the bottom. That is horrendous.
David Underhill's with X or G-string back to front.
Wow. I don't know how I feel about that. Is that why she's your ex? Not having any of that. Right, can I cable tie that up any nicer than it is? I wonder. Yeah, there's a lot of cable management nonsense going on here. I think it'll be fine. Right, let's take that off for a minute. Oh my goodness, that thing's insane. Right, I'm going to put the power supply in next. I think that's going to be a sensible thing to do. So if I tilt this down, because the power supply goes in this top section, so I'll put the overhead camera back on. So hopefully, with any luck, you'll be able to see. And actually, if I turn the light around a bit, that might get a bit more light onto it. Bring that down a bit. Is that better? Is that visible? Can you see what's going on there? You probably don't want to, because this is absolutely hideous at the moment. But there is a lot of cables here. This is why I am a very big proponent. Is that the right word? Proponent? I appreciate magnetic fans, especially in like high-end builds, because it makes it so much cleaner. It's unbelievable. Or even just like clip together fans.
I'm at my ass in the G-string.
Yeah. It's quite funny though. We are here to entertain. What's that? Yeah, USB-C, because they don't go both ways. Yeah, which is weird, isn't it? You'd think that, like in the grand scheme of things, it kind of would. I thought I could smell something nice there, but it must be me. Yep, that's me. We've got some new deodorant today. It's very nice. It is a natural deodorant from Amazon. Kath might even be kind enough to put the links in it. But it's a natural one, but it's got oud in it.
Gives you wood.
Gives you oud. Yeah, that's actually quite nice. It's quite a nice fragrance to it. It did. Didn't give me wood, give me oud.
What's oud?
I don't know. Smell it.
No. But what's oud?
I don't know.
How can I smell it?
It's a flower or something, isn't it?
Oud.
Or a herb or some shit that grows in the forest. I don't know.
Oud.
Do I look like a oudist?
How am I meant to find it?
Well, it's in-
Deodorant that contains oud.
Because it'll be on our purchase history, wouldn't it, if I've got it?
Not because I'm not signed in on your account.
Oh, God. It's a black bottle.
Yet. Deodorant black bottle.
Yeah, just put oud roll on. And it's a black bottle.
Alex oud.
No. Right, we've got a I was gonna say we've got a sticker over our power supply saying don't use the wrong cables, otherwise you will have flames.
That's the only black bottle.
The oud were in Doctor Who. They were, you're right, absolutely right.
Oh.
That's the one, I think.
Mood.
Mood oud. I think it must be a tree of some sort. But it smells nice. I like it, and it's aluminium and stuff free, so it's not bad for your skin, or for your body, or for your endocrine system, for that matter. Got to take care of your endocrines. Cool, blimey. Right, PCI Express cables. We're going to need at least 2 of those.
Right, now I've got to put you on 2 times.
2 times. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
I need a tech man who can make it so my YouTube screen keeps on playing when I go to a different window.
I don't think that's possible.
Used to be.
Ah. I'm trying to put this here so you can see what I'm doing, but it's probably detrimental to the life of this PC.
I can't tell you.
Although saying that, I'm selling it, so it's fine. What's that? Molex. Don't need Molex. Oh, out of interest, for those of you that are wondering about my AWD-IT power supply, yeah, nothing good came of that in the end, and I got a refund. Which didn't help really, because we had to pay the postage to send the thing back, so I'm actually like about £6 down on the whole thing. But yeah, I would suggest possibly not using AWD-IT if you're looking for nice, simple, easy transactions, because it seems to have been a bit of a pain in the ass, to be fair.
Have you been rolling around in the catnip again? Catnip has died.
No, catnip died. Catnip gone. Catnip gone. Ooh.
6 cats in one bush weren't enough.
No.
They killed it, I think.
The cats killed off the bloody
It was you, was it, Otis?
catnip. Otis, shut up. God. Otis. Shh. Right, and we need one of those.
I think catnip is a relative to the cannabis bush, isn't it?
David Under says, you pommies have funny brands. Our natural deodorant is called No Pong. Nice. If it does what it says on the tin, that's all you can ask for. Right, so we want a peripheral cable. I'll also have that towards the bottom because we've got one SATA plug, which is at the base here. Now, I've got all my cables in. Now, the one that does worry me slightly is this cable here for the rear mounted fan, which I didn't really want to kind of clip in behind the power supply much, but yeah, it's not in there too bad, so I think that'll be okay. Where's the screws? Is there not a bag of screws with that? I could have swore there was a bag of screws that came with that Gigabyte power supply. Oh, there. Couldn't see for looking.
You did your head torch on to knock yourself out. With.
Yeah. Hey, ordinary dude, how you doing? Nice to see you.
How's your cows?
How's the cows?
They're too cute.
Yeah, we haven't smoked any sage today, have we?
Already day. You did have sage in your sausages.
I did have sage sausages tonight. Yeah, chicken and sage sausages. What a weird combination that is. I only ate them because they were free. What is that? Is that the Four Seasons?
I think it might be.
But which one of the Four Seasons is it?
Diana Ross.
She wasn't one of the Four Seasons, was she?
The two Supremes.
I don't bloody know. You're asking me technical stuff now. I've got no idea. Right, power supply's in. So we can pass through the EPS connection at the top there. We'll shut that all the way through. Give us a little bit of wiggle room up there.
Dave Collins.
Hey Dave Collins. Thank you for the review of the Thermalright Frozen Warframe 360 AIO. Love the cooler and the screen. What a great review, and sold me on it. Well, you can thank Andy Archer if he's in the chat, because he actually sent it to me for the review. And yeah, it's a very nice cooler actually. I've got to say, Thermalright do a lot of good things these days. They really are starting to really knock things literally out of the park. And it's a very unusual thing actually, because some of the executives or some of the people from Thermaltake actually left Thermaltake to start up Thermalright, which is a kind of a weird situation if you think about it. And like, we've got a really good working relationship with Thermaltake, and we still review Thermalright products, and they've never actually mentioned it. It's never been brought up in conversation at all.
Flight of the Bumblebee.
Flight of the Bumblebee. Flight of the Bumblebee, as seen in Transformers the movie. Alright, look at that, that's looking good, we're getting somewhere. And we can plug in our EPS connector. Now, we've got the option on this board, we can do a 6 pin, we can do a 4 What are you laughing at now? What?
Thick pin.
Thick pin. We've got options here to put in a 4-pin and an 8-pin. There's no point really putting the extra 4-pin on. This CPU absolutely sips power. Even under full load, it's going to be taking probably about 90 to 92 watts if you're lucky. So yeah, we're going to get 150 watts from this single cable. So I don't think we need anything else more than that. And also, it just keeps it a little bit neater up here. Put it on. We could put it on, but I can't see what I'm doing now. My 3D vision is absolutely knackered.
We need to put it on.
Is this a GPU one? No, it is a CPU. Oh, this is really... I don't like working in this case, I've got to be honest with you. But once it's built, it's going to look awesome, so... Ah, there we go. Boom, we're in. Okay, right, let's pull that back through there. Cable managed it out a little bit. Nice, nice. Oh my God, strobing. Can't have strobing. The YouTube viewers will be upsetted. Right, I think we're pretty good power supply wise. I'm still a little bit unsure about where the graphics card power is going to come from, whether I'm going to take it from where the SATA cables are. I'll tell you what, let's get the graphics card and I might as well stick it in anyway. Although most people will put this in last, but kind of, I don't know, I think it's going to be fine. I did actually today, funny enough, get this one as well. I got a 6750XT. This was a second-hand bargain off of eBay. This cost me £217 with the postage and all that stuff. So yeah, I was pretty pleased with that. It looks basically brand new inside. So I was going to put this in here straight away so I can test it over the next couple of days to make sure it's okay before I leave them feedback. But I think I'll just put this in for now. I've got another build I need to do, which I can put that in and I can do some testing on it slightly more at my own leisure. Whereas with this, I want to kind of get it installed, do some tests on this as well at the same time. So I might even have to get the KVM out and have two PCs running at the same time whilst benchmarking and switching between the two, which I don't often like to do, but yeah, I've started making changes to one and entering the Windows license key on two PCs, but both the same. Graphics card wise, as you can see, this is the Founders Edition 7800XT.
Cooler first, Mike.
As you can see, it's very nice and solid metal backplate, keeping things nice and cool. Yeah, it's a nice design actually, this. I like it. It's a shame just at the time that I bought it, it was not really kind of, well, I was trying to use it for my video editing PC, and as we already discussed a little bit earlier, when it comes to video editing, because I'm using Adobe Premiere rather than using DaVinci Resolve, which the time is still, I say this every year, whenever my Adobe Premiere license is due to expire, I always say to myself, I should just go with DaVinci Resolve, I really should. And I install it and I use it for about a day or two, and I was like, I just can't, I need the familiarity. It's no good. If I had a couple of weeks off and I didn't have any pressure to make any videos, I think I could probably get used to it. But it's... Cooler
first.
No, can't do cooler first. Because I'll have to redo everything then. Because the cables will go underneath. Nice. Actually, that's pretty nice now.
Cooler first, Pops?
No coolers first. I need to work out, get off of there. I need to work out where the cable is going to go for the GPU before I do the cooler, because it all kind of hides underneath each other.
They can't see because Poppy's got her head.
Poppy! Let's have a drink. Poppy, go away!
Rub your face in that one, Poppy.
Okay. What's new? What do you want? You come to get some fur into my new build? Oh, don't do that. You furry little thing. Where are you going? Oh, you've had enough now. You've left your fur and your dander, and now you're going to piss off. Sheesh. Right, CPU fan 2. Right, okay. Sorry, I'm talking out loud to myself. Don't worry, I haven't gone insane.
Check your hands.
No hairy palms. Is that even a thing? Is that the first sign of madness, having hairy palms? I don't understand how that would even work. How would you get hairy palms? And we're like, why would that... If you're mad, why would you have hairy palms? Someone please explain that in the chat. I've often wondered that.
RG's cat was staring.
Right, there we go. That is how we're looking thus far. Thus far. I don't like the sound of that. Right, let's cable manage some of this out of the way. Oh, I'm making a right kerfuffle of this. Right, let's unplug that, because that's twisted round way too much. I don't like cable management. Skystalker says, I thought hairy palms was an affliction a young man would have. Oh, what, for knocking one out too often? Are we allowed to say that on YouTube? A bit late now, I suppose, but... Being I've just said it.
The whole joke is, you'll get furry palms if the person stared hard to see if any hair was growing, people laughed.
Ah. That's kind of funny. Kind of weird, but kind of funny. Cable tie. I need a cable tie.
Actually, isn't it first sign of madness is speaking myself? I got my other one all made up. And now you're going along with it.
Then was it the first sign of madness is talking to yourself, and the second sign of madness is replying or something, isn't it?
David Underhill says, when I talk to myself, it was because I'm a sole trader and having a staff meeting.
Staff meeting. That's good. I really need to up my torch game.
Oh, RLG's cat's still waiting for Poppy.
Oh, poor old Pops. And whatever your cat... Oh, Jesus Christ. Love it. Fucking hell.
I'm staring at it.
It's a long day. I've had a long day. It's been a long day. Oh, and there's so many cables here which I need to really rewire into a different position. But I'm going to have to do it. Cable management on a PC is a pain in the backside at the best of times, isn't it? But this case doesn't make it easy. Now there is lots of areas where you can just kind of like just hide wires out the way, so it isn't really a big problem. But yeah, it's oh god, it's not a particularly forgiving case to work on, or work in rather. Arguably, it's a little bit too open in some places. God damn it, I'm wrestling with this sucker tonight, aren't I? I keep on smelling something really nice, and I can't think it's in this case.
Must be your own arm pitches.
I think it is me.
Is this? From pitch patties.
I wonder if actually I sprayed something on this graphics card years ago. No. It's definitely something, it's definitely me. It's, I don't know, it's...
Must be those chicken armpit patties.
Yeah.
Sage.
I keep on getting something. Do you know there's a fragrance called Creed? And it's one of the kind of tones within Creed I can keep on smelling. And I think that is the oud. It must be in Creed. I can smell.
Beaver glands.
I don't think it's beavers. It might be.
That's in
No, that's vanilla, isn't it?
Yeah, it's with vanilla. Beaver anal glands is in vanilla, and it's also in lots of perfumes and deodorants and perfumes.
Beautiful. Right, let's get these PCIe cables in before I start losing my mind more so. Right, I think they're going to have to go through the side. No, I'm not going to get them through the bottom. That's going to be impossible. So let's go through. Oh god, where's that cable going? Yeah, there's cables going kind of everywhere here at the moment. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. I'm going to try and tidy some up on there a minute before I go too far. So I'm going to take some of these across here. Actually, does that one go down the bottom? Yeah, that one stays there. And we'll take those across. And just do a light cable tying on here. Just to bundle those together a bit more. I think I put too much tension on those last time, and that was what was making the USB cable look a bit weird. So yeah, let's pull that through. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit of excess on the top because we can hide that. That's better. Okay. Sorry, I know it's really pedantic, like cable management stuff, but it does make life a lot easier. Does anybody in the chat actually have this cable? Case, I mean. Sinister Chef, are we having a pyro as well? Well, I'm hoping not. I wouldn't rule it out, but...
What's a pyro?
Boom. Pyrotechnics. Yeah, I hadn't actually planned for pyrotechnics, to be fair. If we do get exposed to it, then I would consider it a bonus, rather than something which is planned. Pyros. Which motherboard are you using? I am using the Gigabyte B650 Gaming XAX V2, which is going to be nice actually, because whoever decides to buy this PC, it's going to have a pretty decent upgrade path ahead of them. There's pretty decent support, and being it's one of Gigabyte's newer models, then it should be good for a while.
What weather's Aletta getting?
I don't know. Aletta's probably got some reasonable weather, I would have thought, at the moment.
Nice. Ryan Hall's live stream, so she can keep track of the severe weather heading my way.
Oh, okay then. Yeah, American weather actually, saying that. There's who's the YouTuber Max something or other? Max Damage or Max Hurricane, or I don't know what show his name is, Max something or other. But I started watching him a little while back when there was some like really bad weather in America, because I do like to keep an eye on it because I do worry about you guys. And I was watching it, and he was like, he had about, I don't know, 60, 70,000 subs. I was like, oh, this is a pretty cool channel. And he's just gone over a couple of weeks, well, about 2 weeks ago, over 1 million subs. It's like, wow, that is some insane growth there. Like, it's a bad thing, obviously, because you don't really want to have massive growth on a bad weather channel, because that means that there's a lot of bad weather. But for him personally, I thought that's pretty spectacular work. So yeah, well done. Max Velocity, thank you, Scott. That's the one. Yeah, I quite like his presenting style. He seems like a decent guy. Yeah, Max Velocity. He's pretty good. Well worth a watch.
He's live now.
He would be. Don't watch him now. Have it on another tab.
196 watching at the moment.
Yay! How many?
196.
196 viewers currently watching our stream. If we can get to 200, we'll give away some memberships.
Right, Candy?
No. What's the matter?
You're going to come and say hello?
Oh, God.
You, don't you?
Oh, where did the rest of that cable tie go? Oh, it's in there somewhere.
Oh, you're on the wrong camera for me to show Mabes.
I am, sorry.
I'll be back in a minute.
Right, we're looking a little bit neater now. We've got our SATA power for our little hub-a-dub here.
I'll be back in a minute.
So I'm going to get that plugged in. So we're going to get that plugged in. Let's take two. Why does that not want to go in there? Come on. Oh, there we go. I have noticed actually with this power supply, the power plugs all seem to be a little bit stiff. And having stiff plugs is something which, well, I guess there's a time and a place for everything, but ideally not now. Someone said they watched Brandon Kopek. Yeah, I think Brandon gets mentioned on Max's stream quite a lot. Do they share feeds from the various cams they've got and stuff in different feeds to the weather data? I've got to say, overall, I think Max does a great job. So if you're someone who likes to keep informed of all the latest goings on weather-wise, then certainly I think it's worth a shout, worth a look, you know. Dave Collins says I'm using a Foyth Kin F600. That is almost exactly the same case. Right, yeah, this, I actually said this, I think, in the review, which hasn't gone out live yet, as I've said, will be going out relatively soon, is that this isn't an Antec case. Like, it's got an Antec badge on it, yes, but it's about as close to an Antec original case as the, well, yeah, it's just not an Antec case. The most they've done on this is basically added fans to it and changed that front panel a little bit design element there. Maybe you could argue the RGB hub, but there's very, very little about this case that you'd find in a proper Antec case. Maisie, can you not stand on the keyboard, please? Yeah, I think she just ended the stream. I know. No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. Right, which way round do these go? Oh, they would go the opposite way round, wouldn't they? Right, I'm trying to make it so that these cables have got as few kinks in them as humanly possible. So that wants to go round there. And then that's just going to go into there. Don't feel like it fit in there very nicely. No. Let's go there. Ah, that's better. It was the angle of the dangle. We didn't quite have the right angle of the dangle going on there. So it's got to go in like that. So, like that. Ideally, I would have preferred to have these cables not go around this way on the side, but again, that is a problem if you have a case with the bottom mounted fans, that there isn't really an easy way of routing the cables to your power supply. Now, of course, you can go from this kind of central location out, but this is already going to look a little bit on the messy side anyway, at least comparatively. This would really do well with a 180-degree connector on it. So you could bend that round and round and round and kind of hide it away inside there. I think that would make it look a little bit prettier. But ultimately, as long as it works and it functions and nothing obscures the fans, then I think it's going to be fine. Now, when I come to selling this PC, I will give the option of either having this graphics card in it or the 6750 XT. So if someone wants to save like best part of 200 quid on the build, then they can go with the 6750 XT, which if you benchmark the 6750 XT, it's somewhere in around about between a 3070 and a 3070 Ti. It's kind of sits somewhere in between the two. The benefit being obviously over the 3070 is this has got 12 gigs of, that one's got 12 gigs of VRAM against the 3070's relatively measly 8, which again, speaking from a kind of slightly privileged position, like having a graphics card with 8 gigs is fine. But if you're thinking of building a new system or you're investing in a system in 2025, you probably don't want to be going with a graphics card with kind of 8 gigs of RAM if you can help it. Like, I appreciate there's people that very limited budgets, very limited funds. I understand entirely, I get you. But it's almost a false economy to do that these days, I think. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm just talking out of my butt. But I personally think that it's not a good idea to buy a card with 8 gigs, especially if you're spending a reasonable chunk of cash. Like if you're spending £200 plus on a graphics card in 2025, it needs to be more than 8 gigs, I think, personally. There's cable tied out, so that isn't going to fall into the fans, which no doubt it probably still will at some point. Come on, get up in there. Yeah, this is this is quite a challenging build to get to look nice, I think, personally. And I don't know how close I'm going to come to getting it to look nice, which is a shame. But some cases just do give you that challenge, don't they? And I love the dual chamber look, I really do. I think it's the fish tank look of a case, I think for computers is a pretty kind of futuristic type look. So I like it.
Did we get the 200 or did you not bother looking?
Oh, I didn't see, sorry. I don't think so. Right, there we go. I think that is about the best position I can have those cables. So they're looped around a little bit. They'll sag with time a little bit as heat goes through them. I think that's going to be okay. Oh, looks like Dom's gone ahead and done it anyway. So thank you for donating some memberships there, Dom. Excuse me. So Badger was gifted a membership. Adam also. Darren C. Bixie and Richard. Who's Darren C? It's not my cousin, is it? It might be. You never know.
There is a Darren in the chat, but I don't think it's got a C on the end.
It just says Darren C there. That'd be some funny shit if that was my cousin.
Maisie, can't put C's in the chat. That's rude.
Yeah, you can't have that. Right, I think that is. How's that looking? Is that looking okay? We pretty good. I think that is going to touch though, so I might have to work on that a little bit. Move it around.
Dave the cat just went out.
I think that's going to be okay. Right, we should definitely get the cooler installed because the cooler is going to take ages. And I can't believe how long this stream has taken. I started a little bit earlier as well. All right, let's get rid of some of these things which are no longer needed. Boxes everywhere. Get rid of the graphics card box. Back up to 197 concurrent. Come on. Let's get 200. Open up a couple of browsers. Open some tabs. It all goes to help the channel. Allegedly. Although saying that, if you'd have seen our YouTube earnings this last few days, I suppose, you'd be like, why'd you bother? Yeah, I think the stock market maybe and advertising. Well, the worst thing is because it's the end of the tax year in April of March. Everyone spent all of their last bits of budget, and now we're on the kind of 2025 budget. And it seems that a lot of people just don't want to spend money, which is not entirely surprising. It is what it is. We go through it every now and then. You get these peaks and troughs. Every April it happens. We go, oh my God, what's going on? This is the end of the world. And we fight to live another battle with our YouTube overlords. Now, luckily, pretty much all of this is self kind of done in the box, which is awesome. So it's kind of like just a plug and play. And it looks like all the cables are on the right side as well, which is fantastic news. Oh God. Who's that? No. David Underhill's gifted 5 mics unboxing reviews and how-to memberships. Thank you very much, David. Where's my mouse? There we go. Thank you for that. That's very much appreciated. So, Dave the Perv. I had to read that a couple of times just to make sure. Dave the Perv has been gifted a membership. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Dan Solo, Vanderholt Art, and Daryl Jack, all gifted memberships by David Underhill. Thank you very much.
Dave the Perv's in the chat.
Oh, and also Tim Chun. Dave Collins says, I love how Thermalright have made the others drop prices to compete. I know, it's great, isn't it? It is just fantastic. And this cooler is actually a little gem. This costs, I think, £46. I think it's £46, which for a 360mm AIO does seem absolutely insane. Like, this is a better price than some of the reasonable air coolers on the market, which is, yeah, it just blows my mind. And they perform really well. And with the 7700 on here, because it's not one of those stupid processors which just wants to hit 95 degrees C all the time, this will quite happily run like Cinebench at about 65 degrees, like all day long. So you can basically overclock the CPU if you want to. I would recommend probably undervolting it to get the most efficiency out of it. But yeah, they just run really, really nicely. There's very little that you can complain about with Thermalright coolers. It's basically, I think they've pretty much sewn the market up. Where's the mouse gone now? There we go. Clear.
202, let's do some membership.
202, I didn't see that. It says 188 on mine still.
I think it's 195 now, but it was 202.
Alright, we hit the 202, did we? My screen's not refreshing. I've just realised I'm back on... Oh, there we go. Yay! Over 200.
Mine says 195 now.
Yay. Awesome. Thank you all.
Donated.
So there's some memberships gone out to Michael Lovell, Noatanium, So Hazed, Elboni, and Dave's Drones Adventures. Thank you all. What's that? David Underhill said that Thermalright is not available in USA, in Australia. Why is that? What reason would they have for that? Seems like a very strange thing to do. They're
John asked, how much will you be looking at to get for that PC?
I'm thinking. I think I'll probably need to add it all up again, but I'm thinking it's going to be about $950-ish. Maybe slightly more, slightly less. I do need to go through. I thought I did the addition on it before, but maybe I didn't. I'm looking. I'm looking at another screen. No, that's the other computer. Yeah, I think I need to work it out again, but it's going to be about 900-ish, I think. Which, for considering the graphics card's like 400 quid, it's pretty decent. It's basically, it's cheap anyway. I'll be selling it for kind of basically what I paid for it, give or take. If I can squeeze enough out of it to kind of pay what the graphics card owes me, that would be amazing. But whether that is a reality or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Why is everything so dark?
It's because that light, isn't it? I've done the light wrong, so it's giving me a hot spot on my head. Turn around.
200 plus watching now. 200.
206. Woo! Here we go. It's funny how the small things can be quite exciting.
203.
That's what Kath said anyway. 206. I'd love to get to 270 at some point. That'd be great.
Ugly Bob 269.
Yeah, 269. That's where we. That is going to be Ugly Bob's numero uno. Oh, now I can't see again. O'Reilly's gifted 5 Mike's Unboxing memberships to Cracky Chan, great name, Benny Boy, Toad, Adam Steinbacher, and Michael Albanin. Thank you, O'Reilly. Much appreciated.
We haven't seen Benny going for ages, have we?
No, we haven't actually. You're right. Radiator screws. Let's get the radiator screws in. I'm not too sure how easy this is going to be to wire all this up, but it's well, I don't care as long as it looks nice. We'll get there. I think if it was my own PC and I was building it for myself, I'd probably go with something a little bit more simple, but this is going to be somewhat of a showcase. O'Reilly says, happy to help. Bless you. That is very kind. All of you are kind-hearted individuals. And thank you all so much for putting up with me.
And me. Laughing at his jokes.
And Kath.
Sick Gary Wallace.
Gary Wallace. Charles Ballard says 197 watching. I think that's a new record. We had 206. I think a while back there was a weird night and I think we had almost 300 for a very short time. I'm not sure why that was. I think YouTube just went a bit nuts and started pushing people over here.
It all depends on YouTube.
Yeah, it's all down to YouTube. If YouTube yeah, if YouTube say, right, let's promote this channel, you'll get a load of views. If YouTube says no, you ain't gonna get a load of views. So you could have the best channel in the world, you could have the worst channel in the world, but
or even just on a video basis.
Depending where it is, yeah.
I don't really believe that.
It's the YouTube algorithm being
I don't really
whatever.
believe with the actual likes and dislikes and the view numbers.
Right, let's get this centralized.
videos, aren't they? With loads of dislikes on things, and then they just suddenly disappear. And
Yeah.
won't say which one. And then they took off the dislikes after that.
Yeah, we watched a video which was a live stream, and during the live stream it got literally thousands of dislikes. Like you could watch the dislikes going up, and it was like, wow. And the dislikes were about 90% of the likes, or like 9 times as many. It was ridiculous. There were so many dislikes on the video, and it's like, wow, that is awful. And then they reset it. Yeah, it's like, okay.
And then dislikes disappeared off everything then.
Susan Robbins says, how do we know there isn't 375 watching right now? We only have YouTube's word for it. Yeah, that is it, yeah. Well, YouTube, like anyone, they are a business. So in some instances, it's better for them to underrepresent views, because then they can pay creators less and keep more of the advertising revenue. But, yeah, I don't know. YouTube's a funny old beast.
Anything, all these stats just get changed in whatever favour they want.
Yeah. Stats are a pain.
Question everything.
Right, so one cable, let's put that on the top. There's Andy Archer with a £20 super chat. Thank you very much. It says, nice build, Mike. Someone is going to be a happy camper with that system. I hope so. I honestly hope so.
And thank you for the...
And thank you for the...
I feel like your mother.
What are you...
Having to tell you what to
Yeah,
say.
what were you going to say?
AIO.
No, that's not this one.
Oh, is it not?
No.
Oh no, somebody said about it, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, we were discussing AIO, the Thermalright frozen Warframe that Andy sent, because that was awesome. I'm actually going to get another one of those frozen Warframe type coolers, but not the frozen Warframe. I think I'm going to go, because they've got a slightly newer model out now, which has a ever so slightly bigger screen, which is the, I think it's the Pro. So I think I might take a look at that. Now I've figured out the software and how it all works, it's actually very cool. I was a little bit hesitant about it at the beginning, but it's, I'm running out of holes in the back here.
Panos asked the question, a weird one.
Oh, good.
In your 20s, you had long hair?
No. No.
You did have hair.
I had hair. Didn't have much. Mostly it was, I had like an undercut, or I had it quite short, or I had like a undercut, you know, where they shave underneath and you have the top growing down. Curtains. It's coitons for your hair, sir. Coitons. Susan Robbins says, Mike has the scam figured out. It's, yeah, it is. It's all a scam, isn't it? The thing is that YouTube is a business. They don't make the money they make by accident.
And they know people follow people with lots of followers, so that give them lots.
It's, yeah, I just...
Should make more, they're enjoying
It's a shame, because, like, I'm tired of all the politics of it all. I used to like YouTube when it was, like, your tube. You could just do what you wanted to do, and if people wanted to watch it, great. If people didn't, they didn't. It was simple as that. But now it just seems like it's all very political, and you've got to fit in with a certain... You've got to fit in with a certain kind of predefined niche or expectations of what you should be doing and what you shouldn't. Otherwise, they restrict your channel growth and all that stuff. Well, I don't know. Whether they do restrict it or not, I don't honestly know. It just seems that there's, yeah, a lot of weird things that go on at YouTube. And I'm still having arguments with them about the replies thing. I still can't, well, considering we've got 2,400 videos that we've made over the years, and normally you'd expect, like, if I replied to a video, which I often do, because I reply to everybody's comments, if somebody then replied back, which obviously over 2,400 videos, you would argue you'd probably get a few responses, wouldn't you, replies. We get 2 emails a day for replies. And funny enough, I posted a channel on a, sorry, I posted a comment on a camera channel, Think Media, and they reviewed a new camera from Canon, and I made a comment, and I've had more replies on my YouTube account, email notifications, to that video than I have for the rest of my entire channel. Which just goes to show that something is definitely broken. But they basically turned around and said, well, sorry, it's just how it is. It's like, well, no, it's not how it is. I don't accept that.
Susan Robbins, YouTube was good before Google got involved. When you hear Google.
Yeah.
I'll stop there.
Yeah. It's just, yeah.
And
I don't want to lose sleep over it, but it's like really disappointing when you think we've spent so much time and effort and put in our heart and soul into building this channel, and then potentially YouTube could turn around and just go, well, actually we've got other ideas. So yeah,
we've done it to enough people previously.
It happens all the time, yeah.
So
I'm not going to lose sleep on it. It's not the end of the world, and we've still got a really cool community, which is basically why we do this anyway. So it's yeah, it is what it is. It is disappointing, but hey ho, life goes on. Right.
We don't make anything on Rumble at the moment, do we?
Oh no, we're on Rumble, but we make not a penny on there. But it's awkward when you have like a lot of your eggs in one basket, because YouTube is like the only real place that we kind of monetize, and like through our Amazon affiliate links and all the various affiliate links that we work with or for, whatever. Those are good, but without getting the views on YouTube, you're not really going to get the affiliate sales as much. Like, yeah, we get a lot from our Discord, although that's waned off because the Discord app doesn't work anymore for doing the affiliate sales. So that's another slight nose. But yes, these things are sent to challenge us. We've overcome all the other challenges we've had before, so this won't be any different. It's just a little bit frustrating. Right, CPU fan, let's plug that in there. So
there's all those alternative sites, it's all a bit political, and so
yeah,
nobody's really going there to watch computer stuff.
Yeah, that is a trouble with Rumble, specifically Rumble, because Rumble was kind of slightly founded because of people's frustration of being censored on the kind of slightly more left-wing biased YouTube, which is understandable. So a lot of kind of right-wing commentators then went over to Rumble. So then everyone got the opinion that Rumble is a right-wing organization, which it is by its demographic of content creators, but it isn't, well, it might be, I don't know, but it wasn't designed as a right-wing outlet. It was designed as a freedom of speech outlet. So you could go over there and kind of do or say pretty much whatever you wanted to within reason, which obviously YouTube is very much the opposite way, whereas there's a lot of things that you're not allowed to say, mention, talk about, insinuate. There's many things that you can't do on YouTube, which some people find quite infuriating, understandably, because society, more so in the Western world, arguably has always been kind of, well, you got your First Amendment, Second Amendments and all that kind of stuff. You've got your freedom of speech, and in the UK, we've always had that thing of at least we have freedom of speech, which kind of, yeah, that's all slightly getting eroded now and then, but in general we kind of do, or at least that is what we've been grown up to believe.
But believe is something that's not knowing.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm sidetracking now. It doesn't matter. None of it matters really. As long as you wake up every day and you got breath in your lungs and you can move around and you're able-bodied and what have you to some extent, then just count your blessings. Because there's people out there going to be in a lot worse position than you. No matter how bad you've got it, someone else somewhere's got it worse, you can guarantee. And I would consider myself to be relatively blessed.
Free Speech Dad said, "Found you on Rumble. Sorry, I was late to the party."
Who said that?
Free Speech Dad.
Found you on Rumble. Sorry, I was late to the party, man. No worries. Yeah, it's a shame that there is a way you can live stream on Rumble and YouTube at the same time.
Lucky man.
What?
That counts him out there.
Lucky man, that counts me out. Yeah, lucky man. Well, arguably, you've had so much bad luck and disabilities that...
He's still lucky.
Yeah, you're still lucky.
He's still there.
You're still with us, despite all of our attempts. Bless you, he's lovely. Right, are these going to reach to this connector at the bottom? I've pinned all my hopes on this actually working, and I've got a feeling, now that I've pinned all my hopes on it working, I don't think it's gonna. Right, I've got to do some careful cable management here to get the RGB connectors to the bottom. I've got to daisy chain the bejesus out of this, because there are so many connections, and I think one of them's come loose already, or not. Where does that even come from? Where does that come from? Oh, this is hideous. I'm gonna have to put my calf's bikini on again. And try and work out what the heck's going on here. Right, where does that come from?
Pro Gamer, what's the total cost of this build?
Pro Gamer, that is still a very good question that we still haven't really answered as such, because we don't really know. Oh crap, I've unplugged all of the cables. Shit. Right, yeah, I don't know the full price. There are links in the video description, so you can kind of guesstimate it yourselves a little bit. Realistically, I think it's going to be somewhere in the region of about 900, I think. It's got to be getting on for that. Maybe, well, no, full retail is probably about £1,200. But if you shop sensibly and carefully, I think I ended up paying somewhere around about, probably about 1,000 or so. Maybe less. Come on. There we go. Oh, there's another bloody cable there. What's that from? Oh, another fan. Oh, for God's sakes. Right. How many fans are in this thing? 1, 2, 3. Fucking hell. This is not working out as I intended. Every time I pick up a new cable, I'm finding something else which ain't plugged in. I'm sure I should have one header left on here.
About 900. In the US, it'll cost you about 10,000. With the AOA, you have 10 fans now, as you have 7 base fans.
Yeah.
Mike is the ultimate super duper bonus hunter.
I do try. I do try.
Like Skystalker said, too many goddamn fans.
Yeah, no shit. Right, that one. Where the feck is that coming from? Right, that RGB header don't want to stay on there. Come on. Right. Yes.
140s.
Oh crap, there's another bloody fan, another header there. This is just insanity. I'm going to daisy chain this into oblivion. Right. Oh bollocks, there's another one there. Jesus. Sorry, I was blaspheming a little there. 1, 2, 3. Right, that's going to be 4. Where's the pump? There's one coming from the pump as well. And I've got another one coming from another fan here. Oh, this is just insanity. This needs to have come with like a 10-way RGB hub, at least. Because having 7 fans plus an RGB on the front means you've basically used up all of your headers from the get-go, which I don't like saying the get-go because
Divide them into 3 bags of 3.
yeah, but the ones, stupidly, the ones from Antec don't have the daisy chain, so they've got to be connected together, or I have to install another hub, which I don't particularly want to do. But the way things are going, I might end up doing that. Right, let's take that off. And, God, bloody hell, stop it. Ah. Let's put the pump and all that stuff in. And then I can daisy chain off of the pump. Wow. This is turning out to be quite a palaver. I just hope and pray it turns on. Right. Was I on the overhead all the time then?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I think you could probably see better than what you could if you weren't.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough. Oh dear. Let's get rid of Andy's super chat. Thank you.
Jan says total Amazon price Germany.
Yep.
1415 euros.
That's yeah. So that equates to roughly about 1,250 UK pounds.
What about Daisy, the AIO to motherboard directly?
Yeah, I think, well, I've got one header there. I've got one at the bottom there, which is almost impossible to get to. So I'm probably going to avoid that.
Old head camera.
Yeah. Sorry. Cannot help it. It is unfortunately something which I have got to deal with. Right, let's do the bracketations. So we're going to want our AMD fitting kit, which is in here. AMD zip. I like the fact that they've started putting this into actual resealable bags. Like I've said before on reviews, it's so nice that if you want to change out your CPU cooler and put it onto another motherboard, you can quickly gain access to all of your components in the right bag. For me, that is, it's a daft thing, but it's very useful. At least I think it is anyway. So we're going to take off our top and bottom bracket, because this has, yeah, that is the only thing actually which I think that Thermalright could do better, is for the AM4 bracket.
Don't forget plastic cover.
I'm not putting a plastic cover on. Oh, what, on the pump? Yeah. Yeah, I've been caught out by that once or twice. Let's put those to one side. So for the AM5 and AM4, you use the pink color-coded little standoff spacers. And those just go over the top of the protrusions from the back plate. I think the AM5 socket, the way they've done this now so it doesn't fall off when you undo it, is brilliant. I wish they'd have done this a long time ago.
Susan Robbins' custom loop is almost finished.
What, yours or mine?
Theirs.
Wow.
My custom loop is almost finished.
Good. I've always wanted a custom loop. I will do it one day. Like I said before, I like the idea of the Antec system now, where you can use soft or hard tube in. I think that's something which I will at some point get involved with. I really want Thermalright to do a fitting which will be hard or soft, because I kind of like Thermalright cases. I like using Thermalright cases a lot, and I would like to be able to do a Thermalright AIO, a custom water loop, because they got some pretty nice CPU blocks and radiators and stuff, which I would quite like to use. But I don't want to go through the expense of trying it out with soft tubing, then having to change all of my fittings to go with hard tubes after. At the moment, Antecs have pretty much got the market sewn up with that. Right, I peeled that off just in case anybody's wondering. I've done it.
Rasher, I have all the parts for my new white AM5 build except the SSD, which is due next Friday. I'm afraid to add up the totals for this beauty. I know it's expensive, but I'm hoping it will last for at least 5 years.
Yeah, you should be fine. Right, so we got the pump header. I always wonder with this actually where to run the cables. So I'm thinking of doing it like that. So that kind of spans across. Or it could even go like that actually. That looks kind of quite slick, nice line. So you've got the line of the radiator, you've got the line of the tubes, and you've got the line of the GPU. So they're all kind of in keeping. Otherwise, if I do it that way round, it just looks a bit, it's like a bit messy. So I'm going to go with it this way round, I think. We get one screw down there. Oh no, did that connect? No, it didn't. Do a couple of reverse turns until it clicks. It did click, but not very loudly. And just keep on doing those up until they bottom out. Do about 3 turns each. Of course, these just go on and on and on. I think that's it now. Yeah, that's it. So once I've done that, 1, 2, I do 2 back. 1, 2, just to loosen off from that socket, because I know that AM5 doesn't like to be too crushed. I think that looks all right. Let's have a look on the sheet. Yeah, that looks all right. I can work with that. So now we've got our cables for the RGB and also the AIO. So I've got a few options here. I could run it down through the bottom. I kind of like the idea of running it up through there.
Clean, natural flow.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I'm just going to send that up through there. And then out through the top.
Liquid freezer 360 is good on my AM5, and yes, I went to the dark side. AMD RX7800XT. Lucky man.
The Liquid Freezer 3 for me, I feel has been a little bit of a downgrade, because the Liquid Freezer 2 was actually like pretty good, but and the pump was quite nice. The pump on the new AF3 seems like insanely loud, which yeah, I don't know why. Not everyone complains of it, so I think it's more of a manufacturing issue. But mine's on my Intel rig seems bloody loud.
John David Sullivan, does it reach a stop so you can't overtime them?
Yes. Yes.
Gamer, it's 3:08 in my country. Should I sleep or should I watch your stream, I wonder?
I'd probably carry on watching the stream, to be fair.
You obviously aren't tired, or
Yeah, if you were tired, you'd be gone to bed by now.
you'd have fallen asleep if I...
Yeah. I'd have probably sent you to sleep. Right, I'm going to daisy chain that one on the side, I think. Even though that's probably a bad idea.
Hey Dave, people
Or
want to see you.
am I? Yeah, I think I am. I think I'm going to do that. Right, I'm going to flip this up a minute. I think this does really warrant having another RGB controller installed.
Lucky man says can't hear it at all.
Yeah, that's weird. Is yours wired up separately, or is yours wired up on the PWM? Because if you have it wired up on with the single where they all connect to one header, you won't hear it because it's only running about 20%. But if you set it to like 50% or higher, it's noisy as hell. Which I was quite surprised. I thought it was going to be quieter than it was.
You boys find him.
Right. Well, that's in there. That works. Excellent. And I think I've got one more at the bottom to plug in, if I remember rightly. Yes, I do there. So that, I think, is everything. Right, I think we're done. I think everything's connected. It's not overly pretty back here, I'll be honest, but that is the whole point of a dual chamber chassis, that it doesn't have to look nice, it just has to work, and you can hide all the wires out of the way. Oh, I haven't tucked that one away.
Tuck it in, Babs.
Suck it in. I probably need to do a little bit more cable management on this, but it'll be fine for now. Yeah, that's okay.
Pro gamers go in.
Cheers, Pro Gamer. Thanks for sticking by with us.
All wired on 3 headers. Didn't fancy one header. Didn't look safe at all.
Yeah, it's a bit weird like that. So I wonder if mine is knackered then. I might have to send it back. Because mine is like really, really loud. So much so, I think Kath said she could hear it in the kitchen. Right, let's get this thing fired up and see if it actually works. I'll have to get my little monitor out so we can see it. Power supply off. Plugged in. Turned on.
I have the pump on one header and the rest of the fans on another.
Oh, yeah. I get you. Right. It is like, normally I wouldn't mind, but it's really loud. You can just hear it rumbling away. And a few other people, if you notice if you just type into Google, liquid freezer 3 loud pump, there's literally hundreds and hundreds of people, thousands of people with the same problem. So I just assumed it was like, well, yeah, that's kind of like, that's how it is. You just have to deal with it. Which I don't mind, because I just turn the pump right down. So my pump is set to like 50%, and I can just about hear it humming. But I am really sensitive to pump noise for some reason. Maybe it's because I didn't get breastfed long enough as a kid, I don't know. There's got to be some rhyme or reason to it, surely. Right, yeah, I think we're there. Let's, I need a little monitor. Where's my little monitor gone? Where's my WinMax at? There we go. Anybody want some slightly working keyboard? No bitty. Oh dear. That's kind of funny. Right. Now, some of you are probably thinking, well, Mike, normally when you're turning on the PC, you plug it into your Elgato. You would be right. But currently, as things stand, I've changed my capture card, so I'm not using the Elgato. So I don't have a spare HDMI to actually plug it into. So I've got to go old school and just physically show you the screen, which I don't mind. And it means I can get the WinMax out, which I haven't had out for ages. Can't remember last time we had this out, can you?
Sorry, what, the WinMax or the other?
This. Hey, Candy, what are you doing? A bit brave, it's the closest you got to me for a long time. Candy's abandoned me a bit, unfortunately.
It's got broken stand mind on it.
No, this one's right. It's the one that's stuck on my desk, which has got the broken stand.
Give it till the end of the stream.
Yeah. Have I got USB-C? Yes, I have. Have I got a HDMI? Yes, I have. Is it that one? Yep, there we go. Okay,
I had a schoolmate that was still being breastfed by his mum at 8 years old.
Wow.
I wanted to swap lunch with him.
Oh dear. Oh, I got an itchy neck now. Right, okay. So, good luck, everybody.
Bang!
Right. The RGB is definitely not working. But is that because I haven't... Ah. I didn't press the button on it to switch over. Or did I?
One dead fan. Fan at the top ain't
Yeah,
going
the
round.
one at the top ain't going round, so I have to find the wires for that. So why am I not getting an RGB signal? Because I'm getting an RGB signal to there. Oh no, the fan, yeah, what we're talking about, I am getting an RGB signal, aren't I? Because those are all on. That's quite quiet, actually. Considering there's umpteen million fans there. Now, which one of these is not connected?
That one that you went, what's this wire?
Yeah, what's this bloody wire? Snip, snip.
You have BIOS.
Oh, do I? Yay! BIOS is good.
And then, sorry, all these, we have one fan out. Reality, I worked out my PC build in US dollars on Part Picker, just under 2,900.
That's a lot of money.
No RGB problems, low.
Yeah. Well, weirdly, I haven't got RGB problems. I got bloody PWM problems. I can't see there's not a cable connected somewhere.
Don't show the PC when you plug that fan up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. I got 6 fans connected, which is close. But I can't see another PWM plug. It's my fault for cable tying this all neat.
PWM problems better than PMS problems.
Ah, there we go. I can see it. Why is that all the way out there? Right, wish me luck.
Bang!
Oh, you swine. Hey! There we go. Yes. Oh, God. Ah, I've done it again.
Hey, Candy.
We're working, and the BIOS is in, and the CPU temperature currently is a very cool 31 degrees Celsius, which, considering it's 24 degree, Jesus, 24 degrees Celsius in this room, so the processor is 7 degrees above ambient, and I think that actually looks pretty nice. If you like your RGB, obviously you're going to like this, but the fans in the top actually match very, very nicely with the ones from Antec there. You wouldn't really know that they weren't from the same brand. That all looks very, very nice together. It's actually pretty quiet as well. There's quite a lot of airflow going through there, to be fair.
Wood burner going?
No, wood burner's
No,
not going at
just
the moment.
How many cats have we got in there?
She's got 6 cats.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There's 4 cats in here at the moment.
5. Flames in the windowsill. Outside. I think Otis is in here at the moment.
PC 2022 says, I don't like RGB, but I like this video. Oh, thank you. RGB stands for really good buy. Is it just warm in Bristol? Yeah, it's blood. It's I think it.
No, it is.
It is warm in Bristol. Yeah, it's warm. It's been a nice warm day actually today. Quite pleasant. There's been quite a strong breeze though, so it felt colder than it actually is or was. If you're in like a sun trap, it's really nice.
Your legs turn like corned beef underneath your primark jeans.
O'Reilly says, mind you, my room is 30C. I need it cooler. 30C? Wow. Dave Collins says, super clean looking build. It's not bad. I think it's turned out, I did have like a preconceived notion of how this was going to look when I kind of was going through the parts and stuff. And actually, I've got to say, without being kind of blowing my own trumpet, I think it's turned out almost exactly as I kind of visualized it. And that's actually a good thing. Yep, fans are spinning on the GPU.
He is silent PC.
Sorry?
He is silent PC.
He's a silent PC. I wouldn't say it's silent because the fans at the moment are not set up in the BIOS or anything, but yes, it soon will be.
Can you still see the holes above the main board when the back panel is on? Dutch jam.
Can you see the?
I think
Can you see the?
the holes above the main board when the back panel is on. But I think it's because we've got that display, that thing behind, showing up the two holes there. That you can see.
Right. I see. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. That's because the light is bleeding through, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I understand now. Yeah. From my angle here, I can't see that at all. But because the camera is at a slightly lower
I can't
angle.
see it, it's not happening.
Yeah. La la la. There. Is that gone now? You might see a very small bit of light from the back because of the perforations where the power supply is. Just, where is it? So put my hand over there. The video's a little bit farther behind, so I can't quite see, but that is with the, oh yeah, there you go. See, if I put my hand over it, so yeah, there's a little bit of light that comes through where the ventilation is for the top of the case. If it really bothered you and it concerned that bit there, you could, if you wanted to, put a little bit of black insulating tape on the inside of the case, just to block out that. But I think it's because of that, where the camera is.
Fire, isn't it?
Yeah, set it on fire. That's probably the best way forward, to be honest. I'd be tempted to do that. But yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. I'm gonna have a look from the other side because I've only seen it from over there and what I can see on the camera, and yeah, that's kind of nice.
But there, isn't it?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, you could put a little bit of tape on there if need be. It's only because there's quite a strong light behind it. Otherwise, I don't think you'd notice it.
Turn the darn light off.
Yeah, could do.
No, not that one.
Yeah.
No, it's still there.
It's still there?
I know, because we haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of gone now.
Is it kind of gone? Yeah, it's because it's backlit. Where's my sparkly doodah? So yeah, you can see where the light's coming in. So if you have a bright light behind it, it's going to come through. But normally you wouldn't really say, or you wouldn't see that very much. Again, if you wanted to, you could just put a little bit of black tape on there, black insulating tape, and you would never notice it at all.
Set it on fire.
Or set it on fire.
Just chuck it in the sea.
Throw it in the sea. That's not a bad idea. So yeah, everything seems to be working. The RAM's recognised. I think we're all good. I wonder if I can... I don't think I can do touchscreen on this. Oh, bloody hell, I can. I can do touchscreen on the BIOS on this monitor. Unbelievable. Right, fans. Smart Fan 6. Oh, no, I can't.
Tennessee are getting tornado warnings, 60-mile-an-hour winds, and baseball-sized hail.
Jesus.
So we'll have to hope it settles down before it gets there.
Ah, right. I can use a mouse on here, but it's not calibrated at all, and it's showing 2 mice. So, yeah, that's the challenge. Oh my god, yeah. No, I can't really do that. Or can I? So I went into boot, and that went to settings. Tweaker. Smart fan.
Dutch jam, just buy another case.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Smart fan, there we go. CPU fan, optional. CPU fan optional. God, that's going to be hard work. Oh, for feck's sake. Right, I'm going to plug a mouse in. Have I got a mouse that will work with this, which is wired? Ah, yes. Old Faithful. So let's just quickly see how quiet I can get this. Whether or not it's going to be quiet or not, I don't know, but we'll see. Yay, we have a working mouse. Unfortunately, I can't really see... Ah, actually I can. If I do the overhead camera and maybe tilt that right down, you can kind of see what I'm doing, hopefully. So CPU fan, I normally keep my CPU fan very similar to that anyway, so that's probably a curve that I've actually already done in there. So I'm going to leave that as it is. PWM, yep, that's okay. CPU optional, so that is going to be for the AIO. So for that, I might just use full speed. That has made no difference. That's PWM. And yeah, see there, RPM for the fan now at 3200. And damn, that's quiet. That is really quiet. Is that even running? Holy cow, that is quiet. These coolers are absolutely amazing. Right, so this is for our case fans. So that's got a pretty awful setup there. Temperature control, so we want CPU.
Andy wants her bed now.
And we want a... Yeah, let's have a slope. And let's try manual. Let's see if we can get that down a bit lower. I was hoping you could get rid of some of those. So we don't want our CPU going over 80 degrees. I think it's probably going to be more than adequate.
Is there a tariff on tornadoes?
Tornado tariff? Who knows? So we're still at 620, I think 620 RPM is the basic lowest you can get it. I don't think you can get it lower than that. Let's have a try. No. Let's try, we've got fan stop mode.
Brown one says, nice build, Mike. I think the person you built this for is in for a real treat. Well done.
Thank you very much. That's kind of you. I think that is pretty much where we need to be. Oh, I haven't gone. There we go. Back. So let's go into advanced mode and we'll turn on
James Miscellaneous is in.
PBO. Hello, James. Oh, I don't want that PBO enhancement. Where's PBO mode?
Where's Mick Woods tonight?
Yeah, I've not seen Mick tonight or heard Mick. Expo 1. uClock equals memclock. Advanced memory settings, power down enable, we'll set that to enabled. And context restore also enabled. And I don't think really there's anything else we need to change apart from possibly integrated graphics we could disable, 4G decoding, resizable bars enabled, that's fine. Super IO, serial ports disabled already. Yeah, I think we're good. So save and exit. Save configuration and reset. Yes, that is what I want to do. Just make sure that it posts again, which hopefully it will do. Does seem pretty quiet actually. Considering there's 10 fans in there, I think. No, yeah. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fans. 12 if you include the GPU. Right, it seems to be rebooting, although I think it's probably on memory training now. Yeah, because I've changed the memory setting there. So it's going to do memory training, and there we are. Gigabyte UD ultra durable. There's no boot device, obviously, so strange it didn't just go straight into the BIOS. I'd have thought that would have gone into the BIOS. Anyway, I think we've proved that it works. I'm happy that it's working, and it does seem really quiet. There's very, very little noise coming from that. And considering the drivers aren't installed, the GPU fans are spinning, not very much. The real shocker for this for me is the pump in that Thermalright cooler. But that's running at 3,200 RPM. You cannot feel it. You cannot hear it. But you can feel the amount of water literally coursing through these pipes. You can feel it, like, you know, when you hold a hose pipe in the garden and you can feel that kind of rush of water in those plastic hose pipes. It's got that little bit of vibration to it, like that, where the water is literally just pissing around there really, really fast. So that is absolutely awesome. I might even adjust that fan, the pump down, because it doesn't really need to be spinning that fast all the time. And if it's going to just ramp up and ramp down very quietly, then I might as well leave it at that. So overall, yeah, I'm quite impressed. This has turned out to be, it was fiddly. It was a fiddly build, to be honest with you. The case itself is a little bit of a nightmare to work in, but it's relatively compact for what it is. Size-wise, I can't remember how much you said. I think it's about 14 inches tall. No, sorry, 15.5 inches tall by about 11 inches deep by, what's that, about 17 inches long. So it's pretty compact in terms of a ATX case with this amount of gear in it. Hopefully, I'll take some pictures of it, get it all set up and get it onto Facebook Marketplace, and hopefully it'll find its way to a new home sooner rather than later, so I can start getting rid of some of these big boxes I've got stacked up around the house. So let's have a look. 13 fans with a PSU, says Skystalker. Yeah, you're not wrong. Phoenix says, how many percent the pump need to turn minimum? I would never really run a water pump less than about 50%. If you run it any lower than that, it just seems a little bit kind of like you're wasting potential with it. Charles Ballard says, that is damned quiet. It is. I can hear it, but it isn't any louder than the PC behind me. And in fact, I can just barely make out the pump in that one. I've turned it up recently, actually. But yeah, this is good. Skystalker says, I've used 13 of those Elite pumps in various builds. They are very, very quiet. Yeah, it is. It is very quiet. Some pumps make noise on too low, so I set the minimum to 40%. Yeah, I think 40, 50% is kind of where it should be. Viali says, my pump is set at 27% on PWM mode. it would be, Viali. It would be 27% exactly. Not 25. See, if I had to set it as low as that, I'd probably put it at 25, because that's like quarter speed. Quarter impulse. Sinister Chef says, I check my AIO like that here and there, just to make sure there is flow. Viali says, it makes no difference to the cooling when it's faster. It depends what your cold plate is like and the fin density on it. So if you've got one with a very medium or low density, then the flow rate isn't going to make much difference, because there isn't going to be water going over the fins at a fast enough rate or enough density to take the heat away. But if you've got a modern fin layout or fin stack, which is very, very dense, it's surprising how much extra heat capacity it can pass through. So yeah, you can try it on various systems with different loads to see what works best for you. If you don't need to have your pump set at a high speed, you don't have to. And I generally do it, I don't know, I do tend to change. Sometimes I have it on full speed, sometimes I'll set it at like starting off at maybe 50, 60, gradually stepping up at 100% at around about 80 degrees or 70 degrees, depending what system it is, what mood I'm in, how noisy the pump is. All those things will come into consideration. I very rarely look at the differing temperatures in like normal idle conditions, because those are really, you can get a lot more variation in your idle temps just the temperature of the room, rather than things like your pump speed. That'll have not as much as an effect. So if the room goes up a couple of degrees because there's a couple of people in there talking and chatting, that will sometimes have more of an effect on your system cooling than just changing the pump speed. So it's really negligible, but all pumps they're not all built equally. Some are louder than others, some are noisy, some are quiet, some are efficient, some are not. It's yeah, it's up to the individual really.
Offling.
Owner Dude says, Thermalright air coolers are great performers. Yeah, funny enough actually, I've got also, because there's the TR100, the Thermalright case. I was looking for something to go into it for air cooling in mind. So I've grabbed this one. This is the what was this? The AXP120X67 in white ARGB. So this has got a maximum height of 67mm, which is exactly what the maximum height is on the TR100. So I was thinking of doing a building it with air cooling and then also doing one with water cooling, just to see how much of a difference it really makes. And I'm going to try using it with the 7700 and also the 7700X. I think the 7700 is going to be absolutely fine with this. I think the 7700X, because it spikes so much and it uses 95, well, it tries to get to 95C all the time just because it's stupid. Yeah, I might not have so much good luck with that. But yeah, this was about 25 quid. So I thought for low profile fan users, this might be beneficial. So yeah, there'll be a review going out on that, on install guide, etc. It's very similar, I guess, to the APX 100, which I did recently, and various others, but I saw it seemed cheap, so I thought I'd give it a go. Zero Defect says, I had that one. Good cooler, that Thermalright, not Thermalright. You can't say that, you get me into trouble. Dutch Jan says, sorry, I don't like the pump head. Yeah, the pump head is, yeah, it's different, it's unusual. But we can, that's the LED button. If we want to, actually, yeah, why is that pump head not changing? Ah, yes, I know why.
You haven't done that running and software stuff?
No, because the pump head is plugged directly into the board and then the daisy chain for the rest goes down to the controller. So the pump head isn't on the same circuit. That's what freaked me out earlier. I was thinking, why can't I change that? Because obviously you can change the fans to make that look different, and then with the white fans on, with the white RGB on here, that actually looks pretty slick. But when it's in rainbow mode, I understand, yeah, it does look a little bit like, I don't know, cheap, possibly. Anyway, these are battles we can try another day. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the stream. Unless you've got any other questions or comments, if you have, quickly get them in now. We'll try and answer a few more questions before we knock it on the head. But again, hopefully you've enjoyed this. Not going out on Kath's head.
That's my head coming to it.
Because you were chatting. So I thought that was fair.
Okay.
Lucky Man's Fishing Adventures says -35 in BIOS. So I don't know if you've noticed on Gigabyte, but you can go over -20 on... Oh, there. Yeah, so you can go past negatives 30 on Ryzen Master. Okay.
Was that me? Sorry, Flame.
James says, have you gone to the black?
Is it a black gate? Is that why? Because you're doing white builds?
Yeah, kind of. Kroll. I've not seen Kroll. What's Kroll? I don't think I've seen Kroll. Is that a film? I think it is, isn't it? Am I showing my ignorance now? It sounds like it's a film. Andre says, hello Mike, which motherboard do you recommend for a Ryzen 7 9800X3D paired with a 9070XT? I don't know. Depends what colour you want. I would probably go with the MSI B850 Tomahawk maybe, or B850 Gaming Edge if you don't like the black board. You want a white one. Even that, saying that, the Gaming Plus boards are pretty good as well. Charles says 3 hours, 5 minutes and counting. Yes, I've got to watch Kroll. Alright, I'll put it on my list. Oh, Liam Nielsen in it, is he? Okay. Liam Nielsen. Okay. Right, okay. Yep, I think that is pretty much it. We covered everything. So, hopefully you've enjoyed the stream. If you did, leave a like. If you are new here and you haven't subscribed already, maybe hit subscribe and the chime notification. That way you'll be informed of future video releases. Thank you all so much for your kindness, your generosity, and also your time, which is probably more important than anything else. Thanks for your super chats, your contributions, and all your comments. We very much appreciate them, myself and Kath, and please do keep them coming. If you want to join us for a further chat after the stream or whenever, you can join our Discord, which I'll put a link in the chat for now. And if you want to support us, there's ways in the video description, so you can buy cheap CD keys from Premium CD Keys. You can buy desk pads from technicallystable.com. And yeah, use our Amazon links if you are doing any shopping. Doesn't matter if you're not buying PC stuff, if you're just buying bog roll, toothpaste, anything, just yeah, use our Amazon links, and we get a small commission from it, which is awesome, and it helps the channel massively. So, a fantastic weekend ahead for all of you, I hope. Or some of you probably on Sunday already. My brain is starting to go. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed the stream, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. Same time, same bad channel. I'm trying to be Linus there. That didn't work, did it? Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Cheerio!